Where I was from, I didn't know songwriting was a job. So that's why I started writing originally, was out of interest of trying to be an artist and just like to survive, because I was going through a bad relationship and stuff at home was crazy and racing was kind of crumbling. So the music just it was just to keep me alive. We would go to motocross tracks and they would pay us sweet. We didn't know how much people got paid, so we just threw numbers out and people was like, okay, we got a sponsor for this race.
A gypsy.
Now, if you've been following the podcast recently, you would know that we're on a massive health kick as we get ready to take on World Vets at Glen Helen in November of 2023. Athletic Greens is not only an all-in-one formula that helps me just cover all my nutritional bases, it's also the first healthy habit that I have that starts every single day. AG1 is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that are able to offer gut health support, mood support, can affect your energy each day, and contribute to overall healthier looking hair and skin. Just get there'd be some dope artist out there that'd like tag them up for you.
Yeah, I guess somebody could just paint some for sure.
Is that what you use?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they would make it into the plastic, but that's what I was trying to do, is get them to make us a little one-off. But
well, we are joined today in the flesh by Blake Redferrin, one of America's hottest country artists right now, and a full-blown moto head ex-racer.
You already know.
And we're like, well, that's country music and dirt bikes. I feel like these things go together pretty good.
Seems like it lately, man. I don't know. I see a lot of these edits with country tunes on there instead of rap songs. I'm like, that's kind of gangster.
Dude, I'm slowly coming around too. I was always not like against country music, but it was my ear just wasn't attuned to it, being from Australia, you know. So my first go around in America, I was like, I don't know. There's like a couple things I could get into, but fast forward 2023, I'm kind of in.
Man, honestly, I feel like growing up, there was a lot of people that said, I listened to everything but country.
Yeah.
There was just a little lull, like 90s, early 2000s stuff really hit me, and then I don't know why I kind of drifted from it, and rock and rap and everything really grabbed a hold of me a lot more. But when I met the FGL guys, and they kind of was like, yo, there ain't a lot of opportunity for rock and rap in Nashville right now, but your country is hell. Yeah. Why don't you start writing this? There's some really good country stuff that you're missing.
Yeah, right.
So once I got to diving in and like seeing what people in the town were actually writing, like I kind of fell back in love with it.
Oh, that's so sick.
Pretty quick, really. Because there was a while where I wasn't anti-country at all, but I don't know, it all sounded the same, and everybody was just trying to copy Aldine and stuff.
That's
you know
where
what I mean?
was
so
at
I was
when
like,
I was here.
There's already him, and he's great. So I just kind of listened to him. I had my couple people that I picked and choose. Always loved Alan Jackson. Yeah. People like that, you know, but I was on the same tip. For a long time, country wasn't really the thing for me, even though I was country as hell. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, dude, that's so interesting, because I had the same vibe. Like when I was over here, there was like a couple Jason Aldean songs where I was like, man, I really like that. Facts. And then there was just so much other shit where it was just like the same lyrics, but the same can be said for rap. Like rap's just as guilty.
Every
especially
genre.
Like the whole SoundCloud generation. Like we really went through a phase of people sounding the fucking exact same over every single song.
There's only so many chords. There's only so many drum patterns. Yeah. We're all living the same life. Yeah. We're all wearing the same shit. Excuse me. So there's only so much to talk about. I feel like, you know, we're not reinventing the wheel. Yeah. It's kind of just putting new spokes in it and airing it back up. Like, yeah. Whatever, fresh anodize on there, whatever. It's just a little powder coat. Yeah. It's all the same, you know. So it's hard to, I feel like it took me writing a little while to realize that, like, you're not going to say something that ain't been said. You're just going to say it a little different way. Yeah. So for a while, I was like, man, none of these guys are original. Nobody's original. And then I'm like, none of us really are, because we're all inspired by something that already happened. And we're just doing our best version of it. So
Yeah. Well, and I think the cool thing is like I bet. How old are you?
30. Be 31 a couple months.
So we're pretty similar in age. Like I'm a little bit older, but we would have grown up watching the same dirt bike movies. Listening to this, you know what I mean? Like there's our generation. If you take us and you put us all in a concert, like you could pretty well know what bands to bring out on stage, you know, whether it's like the rock stuff and then the rap stuff, because that was definitely I think moto or like action sports was definitely a place where like those genres of music were used simultaneously together too, you know. It wasn't like just have rap or you just have rock. Like there's such a crossover.
Yeah, every other edit was like one is that shine down kind of stuff, and then the next thing is like some 3-6 Mafia or something with a crazy beat.
Yeah, or some like punk, you know, some of that like the more punky sort of stuff. But it's probably played a pretty cool part in influencing your now career in country, you know, because you would have spent so much time listening to other things before starting to write country.
For sure. I feel like it helped me. I don't know. Anyways, I thought my stuff was a little fresher just because like I didn't grow up only listening to the country greats.
Yeah.
My sister was listening to 3-6 Mafia and Nelly. My dad's listening to ZZ Top and Metallica. Mom's listening to Alan Jackson and Don Williams. So like I'm really genuinely I'm genuinely consuming all this stuff and like picking the pieces that I like of it all and just trying to mash it all together. And at first it really confused some people because they're like, that's not a rock song, that's country. And then that's not a country song, it's a rock song. And that's not neither, he's rapping.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a little confusing, but the last couple of years people really been like, you know, like you said, everybody our age is inspired by a whole lot more than just one thing.
Yeah.
So everybody's kind of blending now, and it finally got a little more acceptable to where it's like, oh, that's just a Redferrin song. It's just a Wallen song. It's not a rap in a country people were starting to shear that off a little bit and just like tell it for what it is instead of what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking cool. And you've been on such a crazy ride. Like we started talking about it a little bit before, but I mean, it's cool for me to see. Like even in the time that we've been talking, it's like there's just so much stuff is happening so quickly. Like you have a hit song that blows up and you're like, was it number 2 on there was some chart I saw, number 2 country, like it was a number 2 country song in America.
Yeah, it was the second country song for like 2 or 3 weeks, man.
Yeah. And then Zach Bryan's the only dude in front of you that's like releasing new, like he's a superstar, you know? So it's like you're playing up in some big territory.
Man, it was so crazy to be on that Spotify Viral 50 thing. Like, Chris Stapleton's new song is 2 below me, and Post Malone has a song 3 or 4 above me. And I'm like, how am I on here with people that I've been, like, really listening to and messing with heavy for a long time? Like, because there ain't a lot of country folks on there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I've been chasing number 1 for a long time since I was, like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The racer mentality. When I went pro, man, I didn't win again.
Yeah.
I never won again after that other than some local stuff. So I've been chasing it, cuz. And in the music, I've been far from number 1 for a while, too. So just to have a little taste of, like, just a little podium, you know what I mean? It's a fake win, whatever. It's just a little thing, but those little wins is what keeps you going and keeps you digging to get to them bigger ones.
Yeah, and it gives you like a level of belief, you know, like if you've kind of walked a path before, you know, when like you're driving somewhere and you haven't been there yet and you're driving in the car and it's like
today
every turn and it feels so long, but then when you sit and have lunch or whatever and then you go home, it's like 5 minutes. It feels like it's so the distance is half the time, you know. It's like once you've walked a path, once you've experienced something, it's just so much easier to, you know, get it again and believe that you can do it again. You know, it's like until Jack and Diet Coke, it's like you hope that this would happen. You would want this to happen for yourself. But now that it's happened, it's like a lot easier to believe it can happen again and again and again.
100%, man. Because sometimes I felt like all the songs before it were just as good. But you're like, why does nobody care? Why is nobody listening to these? Or why does this TikTok get 200 views and then this other one that I didn't care about got 100,000? Like,
yeah.
But once you get a little taste of it and you're like, oh, I can do it. People do care about one.
Yeah.
I got 700 more sitting. I bet they'll like one more of them at least, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to get a taste of that. When there's a little blood in the water and you finally feel like you can get a bite, it's on, bro. It's on right now.
Dude, I love that.
And you don't get those kind of looks too often. So
yeah.
I'm wide fucking open right now trying to make it happen because I've had a lot of chances come and go, and I'm like, I feel really lucky that I'm still getting to like try again.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let this one slide by me.
Nah, man, it's cool, and it's cool to see it happen to a good dude too.
Thank you, man.
And with this, there's a period where it's like you're kind of doing it right, and then it sort of goes, and then you walk into a place and people start asking for photos, and you sort of know, like, all right, if I go to a Supercross race, like, I'm gonna get fucking hammered all day. Like, you just know what's going to happen, and it's like a weird thing to go through when you had never had any exposure to that before.
So weird.
But it's cool because I don't know, like, it's like a weird experience because you just feel like the same me. I'm the same person, but all this stuff, you end up just like kind of watching things change, and you sort of just stay the same. It's
been pretty funny. Like, some of my friends from Kawasaki, they knew me as a media grunt, and I'm out there just like writing articles for them and sending, I'm reporting to them, sending photos in, and then they're like, oh, he's trying to race. Okay. And then it's like, oh, he's rapping now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wow, this country stuff's actually working. And I don't know, it's really kept me like who I am, because everybody around here knows the chubby kid with the camera.
Yeah.
They know the poor boy that was trying to do Arenacross and crashing every week. Like, they know every one of those versions of me. So there's no hiding. There's no putting on.
Yeah.
You got to stay who you are, because everybody around you knew you back then.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It's like I was telling you when we first started talking out there. It's so odd to show up somewhere and people recognize you.
Even
like,
here, the guy's like, oh, wow, I wanted to say good day. Yeah.
Because, you race and you ride and try to be a personality and be a good hang so people recognize you or whatever at the track. And I don't know, I had good friends and stuff when I was racing, but I definitely wasn't the guy. I was like barely making it in. So to show up now and people are swamping you and people give you bikes and gear and stuff that you used to work your ass off for, and now it's like, I'm super thankful for it, but now I don't even need it. I want it.
Yeah.
But I used to need that shit. And you couldn't get nothing, and now it's, I don't know, I feel really loved. I feel real thankful. It's cool to see people leaning in, because they didn't for a while. It took me doing that shit for a minute for them to realize it wasn't just like a quick scheme, because some of our homies that ride, they was making a buck on the music, but they didn't really care about the music. So I think a lot of folks was like, he's just trying to make $1. And then I'm like, no, I sold my bikes to move down here and do this. Like, I'm all in for real. I want to do what they did and then keep going. Like 7 Deuce, I used to see him on top of the iTunes chart, and I'm like,
really?
Yeah, bro.
Really?
The motocross community was so cool. They would get him up on that thing with big artists. Just because, like, they'll spend $1 for you. They love you, and some of those dudes just didn't keep going with it because they were racing, and that was what they were trying to do. And I knew being 52nd place at Supercross, not making the night show, is not going to ever make any money. So that music that will, though. So So I was just trying to lean in and get it that way,
Yeah. Man, I didn't know that Deuce had that kind of success. He's a cool... Have you met him before?
Oh, yeah.
So you guys know each other? He's a cool motherfucker.
Honestly, man, I owe him a little brown bag of money one day, because he's the whole reason this started.
No shit.
Well, I say he won't take any credit for it, but so Atlanta Supercross, it was MotoFest or whatever. They did Arenacross and motocross.
Yeah.
So I went out there and tried to qualify 250 Arenacross and broke my fucking arm. And I get out of the ambulance, I'm walking back to the truck, and I see Deuce walking through there, and I just take off running because his music had been popping, and I had just done my first song. And I was like, yo, I'm bent up right now. Let's do some music. And he's like, send me something, man, whatever, And he didn't think I was really going to, so I sent him some shit the next day, and we just started like pen paling songs back and forth, putting verses on each other's stuff. And he put one out. It was called Mission.
Sick.
And like I had never dropped a song, and it had a couple 100,000 views. And for me, I'm like, damn, this is sick, Deuce. And we started doing shows together. We would go to motocross tracks, and they would pay us fucking sweet. We didn't know how much people got paid, so we just threw numbers out. And people was like, okay, we got a sponsor for this race. So
wow.
So if it wasn't for him, like, honestly letting me coattail a little bit and say, I'll bring 7 Deuce, I would have never had all those opportunities at the tracks. I would have never got to break in right there. I don't know how I would have done it, because people took me so serious because they loved him, and they're like, oh, if he's there, then it must be legit.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah, we fooled them, bro. We didn't know nothing.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Amen.
Dude, yeah, so...
It's wild, man. I never really told that part of stuff because I never got to talk about it in depth, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, Deuce is a man.
Man, I met him at Glen Helen the other day, actually. He was training one of his... he's training a bunch of riders now.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, and he... I think he's fucking cool. Like, he's just, when the music was cool, he's cool. He rode cool, you know.
It's
like,
hard to not be happy around him, bro.
Yeah, right.
Even if shit sucks, he's gonna be like,
yeah,
Link, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Amp up.
Yeah.
One life.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, brother, I'm with you.
Yeah, and he's like, he's just got that vibe, like a happy kind of dude. So anyway, we met at Glen Helen the other day, and he's like, I don't know, he just knows shit too. Like, he's not just a moto guy. But anyway, he said he's got some new music coming out too, which I was stoked for. So because I said to him, I was like, I said, come do the pod whenever you want. And he was like, man, I've got some new music. And I was like, all right, let's do it right before that. But he is really, like, he did some super cool shit.
He did, man, and it was all just him.
Really?
I mean, pretty much. I think if he would let go a little bit, let some other people mix or produce or whatever for him, he'd have a whole lot more songs out. He's really hands-on, man. He pretty much does everything. That's why it takes him as long as it does to do a record, because he studies the mixing and the mastering and all that, and he don't want to pay somebody else to do it because he knows what he wants to hear. So it might take him twice as long, but he's going to get what he wants. So
that's so
respect,
cool. Yeah, I was going to say, just respect in general. Plus, like, he was racing at a high level. Like, he was making mains and
doing all that at the same time, too, which is pretty tough. I mean, it's hard. Just the money alone that it takes to amp up a bike and have good microphones.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's the same. Well, I guess it's similar to this, you know, like, you're kind of always trying to upgrade equipment, and like, you want to have the best shit. It's like $1,600 worth of microphones. Just
to a point, you know. I guess it eventually gets so good that it's just like your producer or how you're treating it or whatever, how you singing.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the goal, you know. It's just like the bikes. If you have the better suspension or whatever, it's going to be a tad bit cleaner. It's going to be a tad bit more what you want.
Yeah, and then you, I guess you kind of just, well, at least for me, it's like at the podcast studio in Australia. Like, you just walk in, you turn the lights on, and you go. Like, it just removes so much friction from the process of, like, I got to set this up, I got to plug this in, where this, like, once you can, like, invest and have that space, it just makes creating shit so much easier.
Yeah, because you get to just worry about making it instead of how you're making it or how it sounds or whatever. You're just like, you're just doing the creative part.
Yeah.
It took me a while because, I don't know, I wanted to be able to do stuff like that too. And sometimes it was just a thing of like not having anybody available to go and write a song with me. So I had to start learning, but the clicking the buttons and all that, man, it uses a part of my brain I need to like be creative. So it's hard for me to do both at the same time, unless I'm running it for somebody else.
Yeah, fair. So where that story you told with Deuce, right? Mm-hmm. Where were you at in your music kind of journey when that happened? Like, how long had you been thinking about doing it? When did you realize that it was something you like wanted to do?
Man, so I had probably been writing for about 4 years at that point, but it was just strictly for hobby. Nobody really knew I did it. It was just something that, like, at night, whenever we were wrenching on bikes, I would turn beats on and we would just freestyle with each other and see who had the best bars that night, you know?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I was always chasing 10 dreams at once, but I was doing press releases for some rappers, and they're like, man, if you can do press releases, I bet you can sing or rap too.
No shit.
And I was like, actually, I can. So I started showing them my songs, and they kind of like helped me leak a few of them out, you know, on SoundCloud and stuff back in the day. And then I met Tyler Hubbard.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was through motocross. And
what's he do?
So he's a songwriter, and he was in Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, I was thinking of I was thinking of who was the snowmobile dude? Hibbard.
Tucker Hibbert.
That's who I was.
Shit, and I lost my point. I lost where I was at anyways.
Sorry, bro. So you met him from...
Wait, what'd you ask me? How did it all get started, I guess?
Yeah, like where were you at when that 7 Deuce thing? Because it seemed like that was kind of like one of the big ignition points.
Yeah, it was strictly, you know, just to scratch all that other shit a minute ago, it was strictly hobby.
Yeah.
It was just something that we did for fun, and where I was from, I didn't know songwriting was a job. I thought that if you want to be an artist, you had to just be an alien and write all these crazy good songs. So that's why I started writing originally, was out of interest of trying to be an artist and just like to survive.
Yeah.
Because I was going through a bad relationship, and stuff at home was crazy, and racing was kind of crumbling. So the music just it was just to keep me alive. I didn't let nobody really hear it. I was kind of embarrassed of it for some reason. It was just something I did for me, really. And then the more people I got to know that were in the business that would tell me what kind of living you could make if you were decent at it and really gave it your all, I just finally like started sharing with people and started going to studios. But when I met Deuce, it was super like premature. I was recording into my MacBook. Didn't even have a microphone. And I didn't know about compression and stuff, so I thought you had to like sing it perfect like 5 times in a row if you wanted it thickened up.
Yeah, right.
So it was like I was doing stuff such a backwards way to get there, but it sounded good enough that it like caught his ear and other people's ear. But it was just, like we said earlier, faking it till you make it, man. It was something I wanted to do, but I had no clue how. So I would just Google shit and then do the best I could.
No way.
On my little MacBook. Yeah, man.
And so then, like, before all that, how did you get into moto? Like, was your dad into it and you kind of, like, a family thing, or?
Yeah, so I guess I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I got a bike for one of my birthdays, and my dad and my uncle had always raced and stuff in the Southeast, but never, like, you know, never for real. They just had to work real jobs, so they could never really do it.
Yeah.
But they got me and my cousin into it young, and we just we got ate up, started racing, you know, probably a year after we got bikes, and it just snowballed. But it kind of like with the music, it was just a hobby, man. I thought I was going to be a football player when I was a kid. That was my dream. So I was just race for fun on the weekends, and then I'd play football all week, you know, and then you start being like, man, I'm kind of a little bit better at this than stick and ball sports.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe this is the thing. And then, you know, football coaches start getting mad that you're missing practice to go ride, and they make you choose. So you obviously choose dirt bikes. And I don't know, I feel like I'm like, well, this is my only option now. I quit all that other stuff, so I got to make this work. And I've always just cornered myself into like making these hobbies turn into jobs, and then like trying to make them work somehow.
Yeah. And what were the home, like, local kind of races to you?
Man, so I never raced Loretta Lynn's on the motocross, but I used to do GNCCs for a while.
Oh, sick.
So that's how I really started. My dad and my uncle had so many friends get hurt growing up that they wouldn't let us do moto. So we did enduros and GNCCs and all that stuff. And shit, bro. Where were we?
Like just the local races
that
were close to you? Yeah.
So I would race Loretta Lynn's GNCC every year.
Yeah.
But that was the only national we could afford to get to.
Yeah.
And it was like first year you're 14th, and then the next year you're 10th, and then one year you got a 5th, and it's like, hey, that was in the nation.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and Dad's like, all right. So for a while we could only afford to race around here. Like we did the Mid-South Hare Scrambles, and but it was pretty much Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky. Like we just couldn't afford to go far. It was just me and Pops in a little truck. So
that's so sick, though. And when did you then go, like, when did you start doing the moto and Arenacross stuff? Because it's like it's a pretty big jump to go from GNCC and Hare Scrambles to like doing moto and then trying to qualify for the Arenacross and Supercross.
Yeah, so we were 16 to 18, I had a KTM deal. Like, they just gave me demo bikes and stuff for off-road.
Yeah.
And the team I was riding on, the shop went bankrupt like halfway through the year. And me and my dad were kind of at odds at the time, and he had just spent all he wanted to spend on it. And he was like, I'm done, man. You got to figure out a way to do it. If you're a big boy now, if you want to do it, figure it out. And I was like, well, fuck it. If I'm paying for it, I'm going to the motocross track.
Yeah, right.
So I had always practiced on motocross, but they would never let us race it, which was silly. But Moto Playground actually had this competition at Durham Town.
Yeah.
And whoever got the most likes on their Facebook post got a free trip to the National. And I was fucking broke. And it was gas money, it was lodging, it was everything. So I was in community college at the time, but I wasn't really going to college. I was just trying to make my mom happy till that semester ended so I could quit.
Yeah.
And I went to the cafeteria or whatever. I didn't go to the cafeteria. We went to the library, and I got on Facebook all day getting them likes. And I went and I won it somehow and got to go race that amateur national, and I won the C class.
No shit.
Which I was riding A off-road, so I was sandbagging like a motherfucker. But, I mean, I was like, hey, I'm allowed to do it. The rule says.
Yeah.
So then I was like.
It's always that one motherfucker in the C class.
Yeah, that was me. That was me that year. And so pretty quick after that, we went ahead and started trying to do the money classes just because I was too broke to, not have a chance to win some money. But it was just something that I did because I had to. I really should have probably been in the B class, but I was like, man, I got to start trying to make money.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get a fifth and a third, and you make your 20, and then you make 200, and then you're like, all right, cool, we made $40 this weekend. And you just get hooked, and you keep trying to make it a little bigger and bigger.
Dude, that's so cool.
Shit, sorry, man.
No, you go.
I get long-winded on sometimes when we smoking that KK.
Nah, that's what we're here for, bro.
But Arenacross was just something that I'd never really done it, but Team Faith, it was this Christian-based team.
Yeah.
I heard they needed a rider, and I was like trying to try out for the team. So there was a couple Southeast Arenacross races I went to and did good enough. You know, they were going to give me a look. And so I was just, I don't know, man. We were trying so hard to make it hustling anywhere.
Yeah.
Whether it was on a team or whether it was local stuff, I was just ate up with it, and I didn't want to quit.
Yeah.
And in my mind at the time, I thought if I could ever get there, you know, like I'm going to get rich, I'm going to take care of my family.
Yeah.
So we were just all in, bro. And I don't know, I could never quit getting hurt.
Yeah.
It was just broke arm after broke arm. And anytime somebody give you a look, you end up
breaking off.
They're like, hell yeah, we're into you, man. We'll see you in Kansas City and see how you do. And then you wad it in qualifying. And they're like, talk to us next year. And then next year never comes, you know.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. And I also picked it up when Ricky Carmichael was doing the Road to Supercross.
Oh, yeah,
so the tracks were fucking gnarly. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I never seen whoops that big on too many Supercross tracks in our day. They were like, no, if you're going to come race this, you're going to be ready.
Yeah, I remember that little patch of time where they did that, like, Road to Supercross thing.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, that shit ate me up and spit me out, bro.
So what, is there, am I right in saying there's, like, 2 separate Arenacross series these days? Or, like, because I've always kind of found it, like, a little bit hard to follow.
Yeah, it has been a little confusing because Feld used to do it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And now I think somebody else owns the rights to it or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but there's always been so many, like, you know, there's Southeast ones. There's all kinds of little regional series. That's what I did for the most part.
Yeah.
Because we never could afford to get all over the place, you know.
Yeah. And was it just like you'd work on all your bikes, you'd do like all your own shit, like training yourself, like the whole deal?
Pretty much, man. I mean, when I was on a couple of them teams or whatever, when I raced for them shops, we had a little support, and they might get us a trainer sometimes if we all lived in the same area, but it was pretty grassroots and just like my local gym sponsored me so I could work out. I mean, I was just like, anywhere I could go. The Mexican restaurant in town would give me gas money, and I put a little Morocco on the side of my motorcycle, you know. Like,
so
bro, I
good.
was doing anything I could to make it happen.
That's just like fucking wholesome, you know, like
I just loved it, man. And
yeah.
We didn't have, I don't know, we didn't have the money for it.
Yeah.
I go work my construction job all day, and then I come home and wrench on bikes, and if there was any sunlight left, I'd ride. But I mean, it was just like, I'd literally show up at an Arenacross track not rode in 2 or 3 months and just hope I could do it.
Dude, that's
and
so gnarly.
I didn't have a 250F at the time either, so I was borrowing a bike from somebody that he would drive from Pennsylvania to all the races. And it's like, no practice time on the bike, ain't rode anything, just going out there and just like,
yeah, no wonder you fucking crashed.
Hoping the instinct works, and then you're like, yeah, man, I wadded it on the triple, and they're like, when's the last time you rode Supercross? And I'm like, 6 months ago. They're like, what are you even doing out here?
Just want it.
At that point, it was like that was all there was left. Like it was either that or just pack it up and try something else. And
yeah,
I had a publishing deal offered to me at the time, and when I did the Atlanta Motor Fest or whatever, you know, dude told me, he said, if you quit racing, I'll sign you a publishing deal, but if you go do this race, I ain't signing you.
Really?
Because he wanted me to be all in, and
yeah,
he knew there wasn't a lot of money for a dude like me in the sport. And I was like, no, I just made it in the stadiums. Georgia Dome's going to be my first stadium race. And then second qualifying, I broke my arm. So then I FaceTime him, and I'm like, hey, man, what about that songwriting deal? And he's like, no, cuz.
Really?
You just want something to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to write for a year before I ever like.
What would that publishing deal be worth?
I mean, probably 30 or 40 a year, you know, enough to pay my bills, and it gets you in writing rooms every year or every week. You're writing with people, and
yeah,
I was so green that people wouldn't really take a write with me because they didn't know who I was or what I could do.
Yeah.
So he's like, "No, man, you got to come like prove to people in the town that you want to be here, and it ain't just something to do." So it took a long time.
Yeah,
and I sold all my race bikes, and I lived off of that. I lived off what my 2 race bikes got me for that year.
What would that have been?
Man, I think I got I sold my pit bike too. I think I had like 25 or something, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just enough to split my rent with my buddy from my hometown. And we just scraped by and made it happen.
What was he doing?
Man, what was he doing? So he was playing college basketball at TSU, which is Tennessee State University, and doing American Ninja Warrior, which was crazy, bro. So we're just we both
that's a
like,
fucking duo right there.
We're like, man, fuck this town. We can't do nothing in this little hometown, so let's move to Nashville. Like it was just gonna change our life, you know.
Yeah.
But it did. I mean,
I got a fast car.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Dude, nah, that's fucking cool, man. That's such a cool, like, it's in the moment it fucking sucks. Like it's real hard to it's real hard to savor those moments. Like you can look back at it now with such like so much fond memories, and it's such like sure there's like a good vibe, but man, when there's like so much uncertainty, you don't know what you're gonna do, you feel like the world's against you, like it definitely is like the thing that drives you to be successful, but it's very hard to like enjoy and appreciate those moments until it's like now when you're doing the thing that you wanted to do, and you can look back and it was kind of worth it, you know?
Yeah, but at the time when the stove don't work and the AC in the truck don't work, and like everything is a grind and a struggle, you're like, this is not it.
Yeah, dude.
But then you look back and you're like,
that was the best fucking time of my life.
I was having so much more fun than I'm having now with a little money or with a little security or whatever. I'm like trying to get back to that guy a little bit, just not broke, but just living, man, and just. I don't know. That guy took chances.
Yeah.
This guy's a little safe sometimes. I'm like, man, that dude only got here because he was rolling the damn dice.
Yeah.
You got to be more like old you.
Yeah. Well, when you got nothing to lose, bro. You know,
nothing to lose.
And that's what it is. Like, dude, I remember the first time that I lived here. And I lived here like kind of all through my 20s. And there were times where like I was living with a couple, and they'd like take care of all the bills and shit like that. And then they went on holidays somewhere, and then like the power and the water just went out. And like I didn't have enough fucking money in my account to put the power and water on, bro. And I'm like staying at this house with these 2 fucking dogs, and I just couldn't eat anything. I was just broke as fuck, and I was just eating like peanut butter sandwiches and like tuna and crackers with these 2 fucking dogs, and the dogs were eating what I was eating. And they came home and they fucking turned everything back on. But I remember just being so low, bro. I thought I was the biggest fucking loser in the world. And like now you look back and I'm like, it's pretty funny, you know, like especially once it all works out.
Yeah, it's kind of baller actually. You're like, man, you're pretty tough to have got through some of that stuff that I don't know.
Yeah, but
it takes some people over.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were saying as well before, you know, like it just, you only fail when you stop. Like there's always a chance to make it, quote unquote, as long as you keep going. But the day you pack up and you fucking never write another hook, you never write another verse, like you failed, like it's over.
Facts, man. There was a couple times too. I mean, honestly, like March of this year, I was kind of thinking about quitting just because I couldn't get any traction. It'd been a few years. My record deal was like a joint venture between Warner Brothers and FGL. So when Florida Georgia Line broke up, it really affected my record deal at first. And I was just like, it kind of seemed like my shot had came and went. And I was just getting to the point of where like, I just assume go run a dozer or a bobcat and get my check on Friday and know what I'm getting every week instead of getting my heart broke all the time. But I just love it too much to quit. Yeah. Because like I said, even if I quit it as a job, I'd still be writing to survive. Yeah. So I'm like, why would you quit? Because you're still going to be writing. Just nobody's going to have a chance at all to hear it. Yeah, then you're definitely going to never win because nobody ever has a chance to hear it.
Yeah. So the first you turned down essentially like that publishing deal. Did you know how that whole world worked with like songwriting and like being a songwriter and that whole kind of, because I mean I don't know anything about how that shit works.
No, I had no clue then. I still don't know much. I know enough to be dangerous, I guess, but no, I had no clue. I just felt like I don't know, it was kind of just like the next step. It was like everybody that I knew that was kind of successful or whatever, it was like, oh yeah, so-and-so just signed a pub deal. Yeah. He's writing songs for a living. And then I heard a couple guys that like, they would write songs and it would, their people would get so excited about them. They'd be like, well, why don't you sing these instead of sending it to so-and-so? So then I'm like, wow, people are getting record deals out of being songwriters. So I didn't really know anything about it or how it worked, but I was just interested. Yeah. Because I was like, man, if I could just write songs Monday through Friday and not do anything else, that would be a dream.
And so that obviously come pretty easy to you. Like you're doing the rapping thing and then you start like, I guess we're writing and recording that stuff. But so the writing process came fairly easy.
I mean, I guess so. It kind of just, I always say it comes from God, man, because nobody really taught me how to do it or anything. Like I said, a lot of it was just in private, like over beats that I got on YouTube or something. So yeah, it's kind of strange, man. There was not really I'm trying to think of the word there, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't like you learned it from anywhere. You kind of just
like my dad wasn't recording or anything. Like I didn't really have any look or whatever. I didn't have a view of what that would look like if I could do it. Yeah. I just heard people did it, so I just kept chasing it until I was one of those people doing it.
Yeah. What do you remember like the first song that you wrote or like the first process of, because I always wonder like how people start writing a song. Like I love I'm like a big Drake fan. Well, most motherfuckers. Yeah. But I just love listening to his raps and the way that he's structuring his sentences. You know, like just he has such a amazing way of writing. Like, did you kind of reverse engineer the way that people did it, or you were able to just like kind of just write straight from wherever?
Well, it was kind of strange. Like looking back, words were always my thing. Yeah. Like in school, I was always doing great on the English exams and the writing exams.
But you couldn't count for shit.
No. Yeah. Math and science was not my thing, but words were my bag. Yeah. And then I started writing for the motocross magazine, and like nobody ever taught me how to do that either. I was just telling stories.
Yeah.
And the more I dove into music, I kind of realized like old rap and old country, that's all they were doing was telling stories. Mm-hmm. And then they made it rhyme or they made a cool melody, but the real shit that hit me was all storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I very first started writing, I was just like, I think the song was called About You or something. I was like, everything's about you. Why is everything about you to this girl, you know? And I didn't know what I was doing. I just turned a beat on YouTube because I heard somebody was like, you can buy them for $20 on there. So I just started playing them and writing and trying to imitate what you hear and whatever, you know. At first, I couldn't write a chorus to save my life. It was like 6 really good verses about the same thing.
Oh, because the story element.
But no hook. Yeah. And that was what everybody grilled me on. Excuse me. Everybody grilled me at first like, man, you'll be a great feature artist, but you can't write a hook to save your life.
Fucking hold my beer, boy.
So then I was like, well, fuck a verse. Let me start writing hooks. Then I was just the chorus man, and my verses were weak. So I kind of had to like mold them together. But
that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
dude.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Man, that's
just like spinning laps. Like, for me, I didn't really have anybody training me. Like, I would watch all the moto videos and see try to see how their elbows were and how they were sitting, and then I'd just go imitate it because I didn't have anybody to tell me. So just a lot of trial and error, anything I've ever done.
Yeah. Man, the cool thing about you that I'm really getting is that you're just fucking doing it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But that's such a people make some shit way harder than it is because they're not out there doing it. And there's probably so much of your life, and I can kind of relate to this a little bit, but it's like there's so much of your life where people would just be looking at you like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, always,
and
bro.
You've got to sit there and deal with that shit. And like deal with the judgment and you're gonna be a songwriter, you're gonna be a racer, but you're just a dude that's fucking out there doing it, you know, because it's like it's what you do, you know. Like there's some people that like I've never really had a job. Like I worked a few jobs when I was a kid, and I worked a couple jobs out of school, but then it's like I started a business in 2007 or whatever when I graduated, and I still use the same fucking business number now. It's like it's been 25 different things, but it's like I was just always sort of trying to do it because I just don't even really know how to explain it. It's like you just feel like you could do something.
Yeah, you don't know what it is exactly. Like for instance, the whole TikTok thing and Instagram with Jack and Diet Coke. I'm not a social media guy. I'm not a squeaky wheel. I'm not on there talking and being like. If you hang out with me,
come on here.
If you hang out with me, like I think I'm pretty funny. I'm pretty like kind dude to be around, but I'm not on there like trying to be that guy.
Yeah.
I just posted the song, and then I saw it worked, so I was like, I'm gonna post another one just like it, but a little different, and then that worked, and nobody told me what to do, and I damn sure didn't know what I was doing. I just like kept doing.
Yeah.
And it just kept multiplying. And there's a lot of times where I sit and think about, what do I do? What do I do? What should I do? And shit works a lot better when I'm just doing.
Yeah.
I might mess up. I might break something in the process, but it's going to be tenfold on the back end.
Yeah.
Because you learn a real way.
No. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I mean, when I started this, it was like end of 2017. I had like a bunch of shit fuck up in my life. Like I was living over here, and then I had an issue at customs, and then everything got.
I couldn't imagine that process.
Oh, it was crazy, bro. I literally I'm only back here because I just got my visa again after 5 years. So
glad you back, bro.
Same, man.
Come on.
But it was like. Yeah, just in one day, my whole life changed. Everything was just fucking gone out from underneath me, you know. And then I sort of had the idea to do this purely because it was kind of all I had. Like I had 2 cameras, a couple microphones, like. So I was like, all right, well, I'll do it. And every day I would just wake up and I just sat at my desk for 8 hours. I went back to live with my parents. 28, felt like the biggest fucking loser in the world.
Shit.
And everyone was like, oh, okay, cool. He's going to start a podcast. Like, fucking, I'm sure that'll go good. And then you've just got to cop it, you know? You got to wear that shit that people are putting on you and wear the judgment. But I just woke up every day and I sat there for 8 hours and I either did a show and then I edited. When I finished editing, I just kept sitting there. Like, I just stayed at my desk every fucking day, 9 to 5. Didn't get another job. I was like, I'll be broke until this works.
That's wild, bro. We're so much alike.
Yeah, dude.
The more we talk, I'm like, man, I feel like our stories are the same, just different variables.
I work for a magazine too. Like I was writing for a magazine. Like that was the first thing that I did. Like when I left school, I thought I was going to be a writer. Like I was like, I'll be a journalist. Like this is what I'm going to do. And I ended up kind of splitting off from that to go into the filming. Like because there was just no dirt bike online filming, you know, like a Verb Moto or a Racer X or whatever. Like it just wasn't. None of them were doing video. So if it wasn't for that, I probably would have kept writing. You know. So yeah, even down to the writing, we're pretty similar.
It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, you know, you just kind of keep chugging along, and you just, at least for me, like I just felt like I had something to offer. You know what I mean? Like I never really. I was same, like never really like a self-promotion guy or whatever, but it was just, I like doing cool shit. I like making things. I like putting it out. I like people enjoying those things. And it, you know, you just end up one day finding something that works, and it's crazy when it does.
Yeah, 100%. Because like I said, people weren't lined up asking me for songs. Like there wasn't a big demand for me personally to write songs. It was just something I wanted to do so bad that, and I don't know, man. It's funny how when you just keep doing that, like there is no demand, nobody does care, but you show up, like you said, 2017, whatever. Like you've been doing it a while, and you're eventually the old guy. You're not the new guy forever. And then once people see you stick around and they know you really love it, and they see the progression, like I don't know. There's been some of those folks that used to laugh that are like really coming around now, and I'm just smile big and I'm thankful they come around. But you know what I mean? You should have given somebody a chance early on, because just because it ain't there yet don't mean it ain't gonna get there.
But
a lot of people give up before it gets there, but some of us don't. Just because we ain't got a choice, we ain't got nothing else to do. You're like, I got these cameras. How can I get by with these cameras and not something else? I mean,
and I think that, you know, there's like a level of undeniability, like what you just described. That's like being undeniable in a sense, where it's like that, like Jack and Diet Coke is such a good song that no matter what, that's gonna hit. You know what I mean? And it's like when you. Like if you do a podcast with fucking like that Bobby Altoff chick, like that's like, this is a great example, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like she's fucking awesome. Like she just made something great and is undeniably good. And I think
it's hard to not like that when it's when somebody does something just
fucking legit.
When it's just sick.
Yeah,
you can't talk much shit on it.
Yeah. And so I think that I think there's a level of, you can work your way into that, you know, like you can, like what you were describing before is, people might look at you, but you're just not undeniable yet. It's like, you know, but you can put out something, or you can create a body of work that people can't deny. They can't fuck with it. It's just like, it just is what it is. And like, you can make that. You don't need somebody's permission to be undeniable in that sense.
100%, man. And what's really been validating for me is like, you know, once people catch on to Jack and Diet Coke, they go to see if there's more. And there is.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I kind of feel like I was saying earlier, like, how did everybody miss these? Because people are liking the old songs now too, but it just took that one undeniable one to kind of, you know, wake everybody up and be like, oh, there is something here under all that dust, you know?
Yeah. And you can... That was something that like I always kind of had in my mind as well, is that if you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, like I looked at every episode that I did as like another bit of a back catalogue that someone's going to find one day, you know?
Sure,
and
man.
it's like, it sounds like you had that same kind of mentality with music, is it's like you put out the song, because you like the song and it's like it's your thing, and eventually someone's gonna hear the one song that turns them on. And then when you're in that position, like imagine if your first song hit and that was it, and then no one's got anywhere else to go, and they listen to that one song and they're like, that was fucking dope. But as opposed to being a guy like yourself that you put out so much music that no one gave a fuck about for so long.
I know, bro.
And then when it finally does happen, they go back and they're like, damn, this dude's put out some shit.
Yeah, it's kind of sick. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you just got to keep doing the very best you can at that time, whether it is that undeniable piece or not, man. That's all I ever did was just wrote the best songs I could and produced them the best I could, and then we picked the ones that we thought were the best and that felt the best to us, and was not ever like out chasing this funny thing. I was just really just like, well, it's the best I can do. I like riding around listening to it, so I hope y'all do too. Like, because at that time that's all you had. Like, you know, people ain't really caring, so you gotta stay alive and stay into it somehow. So
yeah, and I feel like it's so hard these days too, because it's sort of everyone's got a camera, everyone's got a podcast, everyone's got a this, everyone's got a that, everyone's trying to do it. Like it's almost harder than ever to like break through the noise, purely because people have just heard it all before. Like they've heard that.
Some people really want it, and some people are just bored. Yeah. Or they just see other people doing it, and I don't know. It's funny, man.
Yeah. Well, all people just want the thing at the end of it all. You know, like they want what you get from having the number one song. They don't really care about what the number one song is, what it means,
how you got it,
whatever. They just want the number one song, and then they want the thing that kind of comes with it. You know, it's like the people I think that really win are the ones that they just want the thing.
For sure, man. I feel like if I would have had the first one be a number one, I would have really done myself a disservice, because I would not have known what to do with that. And I didn't have the songs to back it up. So then that's when people say you're a flop or you're a one-hit wonder.
Or you're an industry plant.
Yeah, and maybe you're just a new guy that was really green and had some luck. But I kind of got to grow behind the scenes, and I kind of got to do my own thing and lay my foundation my way instead of the way everybody else did. Yeah. And it's letting it be a lot more genuine to me now than I feel like it would have been had I had a hit. Yeah. And then I was just chasing, let's write another one like this over and over and over.
Yeah, we need another Jack and
We need another hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I write with a lot of people that are badass writers, and as soon as they get a hit, they're like, oh my God, I need another one. I need another one. And it's like, we didn't write that hit by worrying about needing one. We wrote that because somebody had a really good day, or somebody got their heart broke, or like we were just living and telling stories. We wasn't in here like trying to make something that was going to sell 1 million copies.
Man, I was thinking about this the other day with 50 Cent. Like I just had my Spotify radio going, and like a new 50 Cent song come on. And I was like, fuck, how hard would it be to be 50 Cent in a musical sense, to where it's like, that was maybe the peak of music in a sense. Like
how do you outdo Get Rich or Die Trying?
Bro, like, and that album at that time, before the streaming, you know, like that was one of the crazier times in music. And it's like, and I think you see it so many times with artists, is that, especially like I think 50 Cent's such a good example, because it's like, here's this gangster from Brooklyn that's living like a legit street life, like that's the life he's living, then he raps about that life, it gets you crazy successful, and then you move so far away from that life, and then it's like, how do you then like keep writing music from that place, you know? And then now, like,
I feel you on that,
music's changed. Like you can't, like, even a 50 Cent beat from Get Rich and Die Trying, like that ain't making anything now. Like that's not the music that,
unless you like do a country melody on it or something.
Maybe
unless you totally flip it on its head.
But like that ain't coming out now and being like a hit the way that it was. Like just like shit's changed. So it'd be so hard to, I guess, like, you get so far away from your roots with success a lot of the times.
I feel like a lot of that happens in country music too, because most of us anyways are from a little bitty ass town, and we did redneck ass stuff, and now we're all in Nashville pounding concrete every day, writing songs in little white wall sterile rooms.
Yeah.
Not out on a farm, not on a boat, not on a dirt bike track or wherever your thing is. We're all down there in these corporate ass buildings trying to write songs about what we used to do instead of like
what you do.
Instead of doing it now.
Yeah.
And eventually the well runs dry.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the busier you get, the further removed you are from it, and then it's like you're not that anymore. And that's why I keep visiting this dirt bike stuff all the time, and everything I do is because I don't want to drift from it.
Yeah.
I want to still be the same camo, Croc, Timberland, Carhartt wearing dude that I was when I was doing construction and just like going home writing my little songs in private. Like I don't want all that to change.
Yeah.
I just want a little security. I want my little dog out there to have a farm to run around on.
Yeah.
But I don't want nothing else, you know?
Yeah.
Don't want for much else. Just.
Well, it's cool to be. That's probably one good thing about Nashville is that at least you're pretty close still.
Yeah, it's not like too far.
Yeah, you can still get out there
for sure
from where you're at, you know, like. But yeah, you don't want to be living in some fucking mansion in like Los Angeles or something. Like it'd be pretty hard to write that kind of. Dude, Post Malone's a good example of that. Like he's out in like Utah now, I think. Yeah, it's like he did that time here. It's like okay, you can't do that.
You see his interviews and stuff. He seems happier than ever, and his songs are cool. And he's like chasing his sound, not what like LA thinks is popular or what Nashville thinks is popular or whatever. He's just doing what he thinks is sick. That's inspiring to me because that's kind of the model that I've always wanted, like we've been saying, is just do shit that we think is cool, that you want to ride around in your car and listen to. Like, it's dope if the other guy that works here knows it too, but like I just want my homies to enjoy it, and I just want to enjoy it, and I don't know, I'm just trying to get back to it. Yeah. Trying to get back in the sticks, back in the dirt.
So what was your first little bit of success? Is this single the first bit of success you've had, or would you say there's been like other wins along the way, like whether it was in the songwriting stuff or?
I would say Jack and Diet Coke is probably my biggest success personally as an artist. My song Stuck might have more streams, but it's been out a couple years, and this one has happened really fast. As a songwriter, I had a few songs with Florida Georgia Line that did pretty good.
Okay, sick.
I had one called Little Bit that we wrote with Nelly.
Yeah, right.
That was like a bucket list thing for me, but that changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, it just helped me. Like, it was one of those times where I was able to level up. I finally went and got me a little truck, and I got a better apartment, and it wasn't this like by no means like rich, but it was just like my first taste of security.
Yeah.
Not having to worry about running out of money at the end of the month or getting, you know, it was just like, wow, man, this was a bucket list, such a fun day that we had making this song, and then a year later it comes out, and then 2 years later it's like it's blowing up pretty good, and it gave me a spot in town. Like, other than just like paying my bills, it also made people take me a little more serious.
Yeah.
And they kind of thought it was like, it's just because Nelly and Tyler was in there. But then you keep ringing the bell and people are like, you must have had something to do with it.
Yeah. Dude, that's so sick. Yeah,
had a couple songs up in Canada do pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this one dude named Dean Brody.
Yeah.
He broke the record in Canada for like most radio streams in a week or something with it.
Damn, over Drake?
Well, I don't know about that. I guess country
or maybe
music.
Country. I was like, oh shit.
They have a weird thing up there where like 70% of the music has to be Canadian artists on the country radio.
Fuck, they're commies.
So
they're fucking commies.
I mean, I wish they was making them play my shit down here.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I feel like, you know, they have a little help, but the songs are badass and the people are super loyal up there. So so that was cool. My first number one was with them. Up in Canada.
Were you singing on that one, or you were writing?
Well, it was a song me and Florida Georgia Line were supposed to do together, and then never happened, so we pitched it.
Yeah.
And this duo called the Reclaws and Dean Brody, they did it. So it was a song we were going to sing, and then they caught wind of it, and we said we wasn't going to do it, so they put it out and made us wish we did, because it did really good.
Fuck, there's those moments too where you're like, man, imagine if Florida Georgia Line didn't break up and we did that song.
Yeah, what if we would have dropped that down here?
That's hard not to think about, eh?
Yeah, sometimes it makes my hair stand up. Yeah, because there's a lot of those. For not just for me, for a lot of people in town. There's so many, but like when you have vocals on them and they're produced and they're like pretty done, and you're like,
this is a hit song.
This is a hit song. Yeah. And then it just sits in your notes and nobody ever hears it. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I don't know, I kind of get scared to give songs away now for that reason.
Yeah.
Because I need hits just as bad as anybody else.
Yeah.
But also, like, my songwriting really gives me good security and makes me not have to do desperate things as an artist.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a catch-22 of figuring out what's the right move, because, you know, hopefully this is not the last good song you ever write. Yeah. So it's hard to be too precious with them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it could break records, you might as well sing it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
does it help now that you've got, like, you're with a label and you've got a manager and like that? Because I guess
for sure
that's the sort of stuff that would really help when you've got someone that's been there, done it all before, like, and especially
Definitely.
Like when you've got someone you can trust too.
100%, man. Like that's what I love about Will, my new manager. Is him and Wiz have been together for like 16 years or something. They started it together and they're still running strong. And I'm a real loyal dude, and I don't want a lot of different people in my group. You know what I mean? I like to keep my circle tight and keep them forever. So
yeah,
stuff like that has been
long-term games, long-term people.
Yeah, to know that that's the play. Like they're not trying to just like make a quick buck like a lot of managers and stuff in town. That's real attractive to me. And my label was the same way. Warner stuck with me, you know, when FGL broke up, and they've been great to me. They've been patient with me. They let me be way more involved than most artists get to as far as creatively. I pretty well get to pick the songs. I get to write all the music video treatments myself, and I really get to be hands-on and make it what I want to be. And they've gave me the time to do that, because we could have put some of those radio songs out right off the rip and been to where we want to be a lot quicker. But I feel like it would have lost the sauce.
Yeah.
And thankfully, like them being patient with me, but also like now that it's going, they have gas.
Yeah.
So they're ready to just like, once you start a fire, they're all ready to dump it on there.
Fuck. And it's cool, man. Like it's
pretty sick.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you, dude, because it's such a, when you feel like you're on the precipice of something, you know, you feel like you've done all the work. You know, you've put in so much time. You haven't got one song. You've got a bunch of these things ready to rip. And
yeah, it feels cool.
You've just been waiting and waiting and waiting and putting in the work, you know, and it's like it feels like now the steps are kind of laid out.
Yeah, it's almost like I've just been riding a million practice laps and I finally get to race. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can put it. Is like, dude's been fast for a while, but nobody ever got to see him ride.
Yeah. Now I practice track warrior.
Yeah. So it's cool to finally have some shows being booked again and stuff, because it's been slow for a few years. Just I was writing songs for other people and I was trying to find myself as an artist, so we were kind of keeping it all tight because I didn't want to sell a big narrative to people that wasn't me. And the first few years of writing and stuff, you're like really exploring and really trying shit out, and you know, it takes a minute to figure out what's you, I feel like.
Yeah. So yeah. Do you feel like you kind of found that lane?
I think so, finally, man. I realized my song stuck. It was 2 or 3 years ago, and that was like the music I really wanted to make. It's kind of dark, but everybody was like, no, you can't be the emo country guy. And then Wallen has a couple emo country hits, and everybody's like, hey, Red, what about them old songs you had? So it's kind of cool, because it's what I've been wanting to do a long time.
Yeah.
So I was really thankful Jack and Diet Coke is the one that went, because that's that stripped back melodies, but kind of rappy. Like, you can't really coin it. You don't really know what it is. It's just is what it is. That's my kind of stuff. Yeah. And it took a while for that to be acceptable and for people to want to hear that. But now that it is, it's cool, because it's what I wanted to do the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's it feels easy to maintain that and keep it up when it's like genuinely what I want to make. So I don't have to go in there like, I need a hit.
Yeah.
Because that's just the kind of shit I write. So hopefully people keep, relating to it and being drawn to it because it's just me. So, and I guess if they don't, I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I don't know if I would change it.
Yeah.
Because now that I know I can win doing the kind of music I love, I don't want to cater to false stuff. I don't want to do something that I don't want to sing 20 years from now, because if one does blow up, you're stuck with it forever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you want to get stuck in a cycle of you do the thing that fills up your own cup, to be cliche. Like, you want to do the thing, you want to be selfish in what you make and what you produce.
100%.
And then you want people to resonate with that, and it gives them something. So you're creating this thing that gives you something, and then you're giving it out to the world, and then it gives those people something. And then that in turn gives you something. Like, you end up in like a really great cycle when you're making things selfishly, and you're serving your own interests, but then by doing that, you're also serving the interests of other people. Like, that's the magic spot.
Yeah, it's weird. It seems like when I try to point one at what would the people like, nobody cares for it. And when I just write from my heart and I write what I like, it seems like people usually, like you're saying, that's usually the one that wins, but that's the one you're the most self-conscious about. It's the one you want to show off the least. And really, it's the one. But you sit and you overanalyze it because it's such a piece of you that sometimes it's hard to share, but those are always the ones. So,
dude,
I'm trying to get out of my own way a little bit.
That's a hard balance, man. Like, there's been a few podcasts that I've sort of sat and I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Like, I went deep, they went deep. Like, but then it's like, you don't know how the other person feels. But at least for me, I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I really would want to put that out. And then it's like, you can't edit all this shit out. Like, it's just...
because if you start cutting one thing out, you cut everything out, and then it's nothing.
Yeah, and so... Then you put it out, and then people are like, man, that fucking episode. And you're just like, fuck. Sucks that that's the one that goes so good, because that was the hardest one to put out.
But
yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it's a little bit relieving to know you ain't alone, or to like somebody that you look up to be like, oh, they dealt with that too.
Yeah.
It makes it hurt a little less sometimes, or
gives
you a little hope, like there is some light at the end of the tunnel, because sometimes it sucks and it is no power and no hot water and peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Linkin Park for me. Like, when I was a kid, that was like my number one favorite band, and like I listen back to that shit now, I'm like, this is so dark, bro. Like, but I was in that place as a teenager, like being a teenager where I grew up. Like, at least to me, it felt really fucking hard, and it's I needed that shit, like, to. I don't know. It's like it gave you exactly what you said. It's like, I'm not the only one that's dealing with. They like made my soundtrack in a sense.
Yeah, when I would hear a really rich rapper or a famous country singer singing some stuff that I was going through, I was like, it was kind of like encouraging and kind of not, because I'm like, oh shit, you mean if you're rich, it still sucks sometimes? But also I'm like, hey, it happens to everybody. Yeah. So I ain't the only guy. So I'm gonna like try to look up today instead of at the ground.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny being fucking broke.
Yeah, it is, ain't it?
And you're just thinking like, all my shit would be solved with fucking money.
Yeah, and then it ain't. You just got different problems.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm like, fuck, I thought they would go away.
Yeah. I'm still me.
Yep, it's still going on.
What was the most like impactful music when you were growing up? What was the first music you remember like really loving for what it was? Not just listening to, but loving.
Black Sabbath.
Ooh, okay, I like it.
The guitars were so heavy and dark, and then Ozzy's voice just ripped through. Yeah, that was my shit. When I got a guitar, that was the first song I learned was Paranoid.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So you played instruments and shit as a kid?
Yeah, so my dad worked at Gibson Guitar for like 20 years.
No way.
Yeah, so we always had guitars around.
Hell yeah.
He wasn't a player or anything. He could play a little bit, but he was just a good painter.
Yeah, right.
So we always had guitars around, but it just wasn't something that like I didn't think there was any opportunity in it. I didn't know how I'd ever start a band or anything like that from White House, Tennessee. So I just played for fun, and then when I got about 16, we had a house full of guitars that he had painted over the years, and we started selling them to go race.
No way.
So then eventually there was no more guitars, and it was just all dirt bikes.
Yeah.
So I wish I had some of them guitars back so bad now.
Man, that would have been cool. How long did he work there for?
I think 19 years or something. He was there quite a while.
And he was like a painter, guitar painter.
Yeah, so he worked his way up. He just started as like sweeping and shit, and he had painted cars and stuff, I guess, previously when he was younger. So he finally got a shot to paint, and then ended up working. I mean, he did stuff for Billy Joe Armstrong and Zakk Wylde, and
wow.
He ended up being like a custom guy, and he would build guitars for artists and design new colors. So it was pretty cool. Like anytime they put out a guitar with a color he used, they would give him one. So like after a few years, we had all these sick guitars, but no use for them at the time because we were just so into moto. So
what a trip, dude.
I know, man. Sold the guitars for bikes, and then sold the bikes for guitars, man. It's like God was really wanting me to do that.
From the jump.
Yeah, but I just didn't get it, didn't care enough, whatever. It literally took me breaking my arm in the Georgia Dome to be like, he doesn't want me to ride dirt bikes like this for some reason.
Dude.
Because even when I got a crazy opportunity, something like that would happen.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, he's blessing this. He wants me to do it. And then I'd snap myself off, and I'm like, no, I was wrong. I wanted me to do it.
Yeah. Man, that's so crazy that your dad worked for Gibson Guitars in Nashville for all those years. Are they in Nashville?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a kid, like, stuff was so lax in the 90s and 2000s, but he would take me in there, and they had all these scrap guitars that they would just chip if they were blemished or whatever, so he would strip them down and let me paint them.
No way.
So I would come in, like, when he was working overtime doing customs, and I would just be spraying guitars in there, whatever color I wanted, and then they'd chip them.
No
but
way.
It was cool to be around. I never realized how impactful it was. Like, I don't know, him bringing home the little pearl inlays from Zakk Wylde's guitar. He's like, it's the actual ones. And it was just wild to like have your hands on that stuff as a kid because it seems so like far away.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you get there, and how did that guy get there? And I guess stuff like that's what planted those little seeds in my head early on to dream and think that you could do bigger stuff than what you seen already,
Yeah, because that is your vibe, like you were the guy that always thought you could be something, and like it's not easy to be that guy a lot of times,
Especially
like for
where
the most of your life, you ain't gonna be shit.
No, man.
So like you're that guy that thinks you could be anything, and you're not that guy for a very long time. It's like kind of hard to be that dude.
Yeah, bro, because you're like all in. You're like, this is it, and then it's not it. And then you got to reinvent.
Yeah.
And it's tough sometimes. But I finally feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And with so much experience and so much kind of life to draw from,
For sure, whether it's writing or just like knowing how to navigate the uncertainties and all the ups and downs. I mean, even just like going down the 405 for the first time, bro.
Was that today?
Yeah.
No shit.
I've been in a tour bus, I guess, through here, but I've never been driving myself. But I've drove around the whole rest of the country racing dirt bikes in a little Nissan Frontier. So, like, it ain't that much different. There's 2 or 3 more lanes and people going a little crazier. But like you said, all that living got us ready for all this stuff.
Yeah, and then you just end up being a dude that's had a lot of life experience, and you've met so many people, and you can, like you would have seen so many different walks of life.
Yeah, it's cool, and I don't know, man. I feel like I'm pretty lucky. Like I said, because I didn't never win a Supercross or nothing. Never made a main, but I still got to live that dream. I still got to see the lights. I still got to ride the tracks. Still got to give it a shot, and I don't know, man. From where I'm from, like I said, most people don't ever make it out of there. You get married, you have kids, you work your 9 to 5 till you're gone, and you don't ever leave that town.
Yeah.
And I just always wanted to. My mom always told me, like, Well, that guy playing football's doing it. Like, somebody had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Carmichael started one day too. She was just such a, like, she had so much faith and belief in God and in me. She's like, they had to do it once, so you can do it too.
What did your mom do?
So my mom was a school bus driver.
Yeah.
And she cleaned houses.
No shit.
Yep.
That's as like southern as you can get, you know.
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
bro.
that hardworking mom that's just taking care of shit.
Yep, she did everything she could. Like, we didn't have it good enough she could just be a stay-at-home mom, but she worked jobs. Like, she drove a school bus so she could take me to school.
Yeah.
Like, she made sure she did shit so she could be around, even though everybody had to really work.
Yeah.
And so having her around all the time, like, my dad was working a lot. I was definitely a mama's boy.
Yeah.
But she just pushed me, but like gently. She was just always like, you can literally do anything you want to.
Yeah.
Because anybody that's doing it, like, had to dream it up once or whatever. Like, somebody gave them a seed and then they ran with it. So
yeah.
And she was from a little coal mining town in Kentucky, and none of our family ever did anything but, you know, go to the service or dig coal or whatever they did. You know, it was not. Nobody ever did something to make us think you could do more, but she just always told me and my sister that we could.
Yeah.
So we just always dreamed like hell and chased it, and both found our way to, you know, where we are now.
Dude, it's so cool. What did you ever have anyone in your life that like did make it that you could see and kind of gave you a little bit of like extra hope in a sense?
Man, not really growing up. I mean, I'd look at Emig and McGrath and people like that and just try to draw off of that hope, you know, but nobody in my hometown ever like made it to the NFL or made it to the NBA or was like racing anything. Like, it was just pretty like humble, hardworking country folks. So I didn't really have a lot of examples, but I just remember being a kid and like whatever, first or second grade, I wanted to be a pro dirt bike rider in Australia. That was like, why Australia? I don't know, but I was so specific, but I was always like,
that's random.
I think I can get the hell out of here. I don't know why, even as a kid, I was like, I think I can do something bigger than this town.
That's so wild, eh? Man, the whole
oh shit.
Oh, sorry, good.
Am I cool to take this real quick?
Yeah, we'll cut it out.
Yeah, just real fast, sorry.
What gear are you wearing?
Fox.
Okay.
Got me a little Fox deal.
Oof, I love that.
Which, that's another thing, bro. I chased my
dream,
whole life.
Bro. That's the dream.
I could never even get a discount on some Fox.
Dude, that's crazy.
Thankfully, my dude Tyler Hayes over there.
Yeah. You know, have you met Austin there yet?
Yeah, so I think whenever he used to send some stuff to T-Hub, and every now and then I would get a little doggy bag too.
Yeah,
you know, they would send me some bones every now and then.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. That's like the pinnacle. Everybody in my hometown had a Fox head on the back of their truck.
Yeah.
And they didn't even ride.
Yeah.
But like our era, that was a shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. Ricky Carmichael. Like,
yeah, bro.
Did you see that Unadilla gear that they did? Oh, the Cowie team.
Yeah, I was begging. I was like, please, I know you got a 32 and a large. And that
shit was lit, bro.
One day. I ain't that popping yet, but maybe next year.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Anyways,
I'm trying to remember. I got a couple ways I want to go right now. What was Jack Daniel's reaction to the song?
Man, they've been so supportive and so amazing.
Really?
Yes, dude.
That's cool.
Sometimes stuff like that's kind of weird, and I think it's mainly because I write songs that are kind of like genre bending and a little early.
Yeah.
So like I wrote one for Mossy Oak, but it was a rap song, and they were like, we love it, but it's a little out of our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So it was just cool to finally be like accepted by somebody that you showed love to.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, man, the song's got 4 million streams. At the time when we were talking, they're like, it's got 4 million streams, and it says Jack like 16 times. That's a lot of people hearing Jack.
Yeah.
And I was like, you damn straight it is.
And so what was like, they reached out to you after it, or how did it kind of go down?
Yeah, so my buddy over there, he's a good friend now, man. His name's Greg at Jack Daniels. He had been seeing the videos on Instagram, and I guess Warner Brothers reached out to him too, just to, because they already had a relationship because of some other artist at Warner, and he's like, I guess he had already knew about it a little bit, and shit, they just invited us down there for a tour to just come get to see see how the whiskey's made.
I've heard it's pretty rad, the tour.
Bro, it's crazy. If you're ever, next time you're in Nashville, I'll take you.
Dude, I'd love that.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
But they let us run around the whole place. We filmed them damn social media videos all over the place. They let us drink the whiskey. And I mean, even stuff like that. Jack Daniels is a huge brand. And I'm like, hey, can I get some logos? I really want to do a helmet like Monster does, except for y'all. And they're like, fuck yeah. And they send them straight over. And like, as a Tennessee boy, Jack is like the pinnacle. That's mother's milk, baby. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. For them to like be that welcoming and inclusive, because a lot of big brands are very exclusive.
Tight.
Yeah, so scared of what
legal
something might do
and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, and I don't know. They're able to see through all that and see who the person is, and they're like, it's not that risky. It's not as risky as everybody acts like to support somebody. You know what I mean? So it's been amazing, dude. I don't know. I got a barrel chair in my house. Like, I'll have to show you that when we're done with the interview. But like, they hooked me up, bro. We went down there and had a time. Like, I told them legit, whenever I'm old and retired, I want to come down there and work.
That's so sick. There's barrels of whiskey.
Yeah, bro. There's one guy there. His job is to just burn ricks of wood into charcoal, and he starts a fire with whiskey, and he sits there for hours till it's burnt the perfect amount, and then puts it out. And he just sits by a fire all day, every day, tending a fire, and that's his job, and he gets paid hella good for it.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, I would love to sit by a bonfire for a job one day.
That's
my kind of shit.
Sick.
But it was impactful, man.
Yeah.
And it's inspired new songs, and they're having me down there to do a concert.
You could write a song about that guy.
Oh, 100%. You already know.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that. I just got a Tyler Childers Cole in the back of my head just played just then.
Come on.
Dude, that's so rad.
Yeah, it's been really sick. I'm super thankful for their support.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, everybody and their brother talks about Jack.
Yeah.
And they don't, I don't know. They do show a lot of people love, but they're also like
pretty specific.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't go at them for some reason. Maybe they assume they're so big they like ain't gonna give them no love back. But they're like the coolest brand I've ever worked with so far. Whether it was motocross stuff or music, like it's all people that live in the town and like really love the whiskey, and like the whole brand is like. Anyways, enough of the Jack ad, but they're all real people, man. It's crazy. It's in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Okay, whereabouts is that in relation to Nashville?
Probably an hour and a half south.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and they do tours all the time. You can
I've heard people
one anytime, do the whiskey tasting.
I was trying to think of someone else told me that it was like really, really good, the tour.
Yeah, it's cool. Like they take you and you have lunch at this little place, and it's like family style dining. You sit with people you don't know, and they just like spin the food around. You serve yourself. It's crazy, but it's my kind of shit.
Yeah. They when we were talking about those southern towns, and you were just saying like no one really makes it out of those towns. Like I was just in South Carolina last week racing, and we just went through like Grey Court, South Carolina, and there was just fucking no one there, bro. And it's just like those. They're not like trailer homes, but they're just kind of like the long, skinny. I don't even know what you call those.
Like things. One story, just like
flats. Just literally like it looks like a trailer home, but it's like not a trailer. It's just that size, and it's just a box,
just a brick rectangle.
Yeah, and there's just like 5 of them there, and it's like that's fucking real. That is the South. And not a lot of people get to see. I mean, I don't even think a lot of Americans really understand how South the South is.
No, man, it's a kind of a thing that until you've like experienced it, there ain't nothing like it. And that's kind of both sides of the coin. Like up in the coal mining towns where my mama was from, that's where I feel like that's where people go missing and stuff. You know what I mean? It's a whole different kind of There's a whole different kind of hood in them woods.
Yeah.
But then there's also like the most kind,
for sure, bro.
Give you the shirt off their back, feed you before they eat kind of folks down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty laid back.
There's something about the South though that kind of I don't know. It just exudes that. Like I was there the other day, and I had to go buy some batteries for some mics. We were doing some live shit. we didn't have batteries, so I'm like driving around and none of the gas stations had AA batteries. And I finally get to one and there was this dude, he looked like a vet, like a Vietnam vet or something. He only had one arm and he like walks in and he's like, how much is this beer? And I thought in my head, I was like, damn, if you got to ask how much that beer is, like it's probably too much.
Yeah.
So then I was like, hey man, let me get you that beer, you know?
Hell yeah.
So I just bought this random dude.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's the South, bro. You
yeah,
know?
bro,
like,
that's
that
how
shit
it is.
just came out of me.
That's sick. He ain't even from there, and Southern hospitality's creeping out.
Yeah. I was like, man, if you have to ask too much, give me that shit. Like, I'll buy that beer for you.
I'm bad about that.
It's a hot ass day, bro. Like, you need this Bud Light.
Yeah, if you got to ask, you need that beer.
Yeah, 100%.
My girl gets on my ass sometimes because I'm bad about that.
Just buying shit, people.
Yeah, for other folks. Just because, and whatever, we ain't even going to talk much about it, but I know how it is to not have a buck. So, like, if you're sitting there counting your change to pay for whatever,
same way.
I got $5 right here. I don't have much, but I got $5 that we don't have to count.
Yeah,
so just take your shit, keep your $2 of change, and buy you one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to come by $2 sometimes out there where there's no work for an hour. And
man, that's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing about those
tough.
towns, eh? Like, and that's what I was thinking. Like, what are you doing if you're in Great Court, South Carolina? You know,
not much. I mean, where I'm from, you might do tobacco or soybeans or corn, or you did construction. Otherwise, you had to drive to Nashville or you had to drive up to Kentucky because there just wasn't like, there's not industry there. There's not, there's little mom and pop restaurants and there's a McDonald's and all that, but that's all sucked up pretty quick. So there's not a lot of people, but there's not a lot of opportunity either for the ones that is. So it's, I think a lot of people don't even ever want to try to make it out or do no better just because it's kind of all we know and all we've ever seen. And I don't know, it's, because you've done it time and time again, but it's hard to climb out of them holes sometimes. And sometimes it'd be easier just staying there, I think.
Dude, 100%. And like I can think back to some, like I had he's not my blood uncle, but we called him Uncle Glenn. And he was just this crazy fucking dude. He's one of my dad's best friends, and he just always had something. Like he invented didgeridoos that played themselves, and just like all this, like he was just that guy. And he made like the world's first mountain bike movie, and he was always doing shit, and it never really hit for him until he was kind of like in his 40s. And now he's a fucking just kills it, like fully murders it. But yeah, he was like the one dude in my life. Like my dad worked for the city, my mum worked for a brick factory, and there was no one in my town. None of my family had ever gone to university. Like was just high school, and that's it. And it's like they're all amazing people, but like I definitely didn't have much of a what's possible kind of thing, but I had him, and like, and I had one guy that kind of like planted that seed, and so much of what I did, I look back and I kind of thank him for that in a sense, like just for giving me that look. Like, dude, he'd come home from Japan and have an MP3 player with like, remember Bomb Funk MC's Freestyler?
I don't know if I know about that, bro.
You know that song?
You have to put me on. Or I might just be lit right now.
All right, let's see. You surely got to know this fucking song. This was one. When I say
I'm losing cred right now.
You know what? When I said like the first song that you really like, or the first type of music. This was one of those songs for me.
Yeah, first one you just really go into.
I feel like you'll know it.
I'm bad about movies and songs. I'm bad about knowing them when I hear them or see them.
Listen to this.
But I can't.
But
that's what you used to be jamming on?
Well, dude, so like I was just a kid. I might have been like 13 or 14, and my uncle, Uncle Glenn, he comes back from Japan, and he like bought an MP3 player. This was before iPods, before any of that shit. He bought me a Sony MP3 player from Japan. I think I had like a Walkman at this time.
That's wild.
And it had that one. It had one song on it, and it was that song.
Yeah.
But he was a guy that I could look to. He kind of was inspiring in that sense. Like he was doing something other people weren't doing, and like he was. And to me, he'd made it.
Oh, so like, if you're going to Japan from where I'm from, you made it for sure.
Yeah. But so, there's so many people that if you come from a town and you don't have that kind of, you don't have anyone like that to look up to. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes it is. It's not like it's easy to stay down, but it's like if that's all you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing is like, it's not even like people choose it.
Yeah.
They just don't know
what's possible.
They don't know any better. They have never seen any better than that. So that's just like, even for me, that was the bar for a while. it was just like hope I could go pro at football or motocross so I could live the perfect small town life, you know, like it wasn't really to be doing all the other stuff until you get out and see a little more of the world and eat a little more food and taste a couple different things, and then you're just like, there is something besides this little place.
Oh man.
But I always go back too.
Yeah.
As much as I travel, I always end up back in Tennessee for some reason.
Yeah, dude, the South is just beautiful though. Just in general, like it's such a.
I like it pretty good,
dude. I'm the same, man. Like Greenville apparently is pretty dope. Like I feel like that's one of the places a lot of people are moving to.
It seems pretty sick.
Yeah,
that's out near Daniel, ain't it? Or where is he at?
Blair? Yeah. He's in Greenville, so that's why I was there. I was at his track the other day.
But it looks sick, by the way.
Fuck, it was cool.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was good, dude. Yeah, it was really cool. I rode Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But that whole area is just like fucking sick. And it's funny what you're saying about them woods, you know, like you just if you've never been to the South, like you've just got woods with just the vines that grow all over them, so it's like you can't see shit in or out of that, you know, like you go walking a couple mile in them woods, like good luck getting out.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be walking my dog where we're at and I'll be like, she starts staring off, you know, and I'm like, what's in there that I don't know about today?
A whole lot. Yeah, shit can go missing quick in there.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
What's it like where you're from?
It's similar, but it's rainforest.
Hell,
so I grew up in a town called Cairns, which is like the easiest way to describe it is Great Barrier Reef. So that's the place that you fly into to go scuba diving and snorkeling and all that shit.
That's wild.
So we grew up in a town like 20 minutes south of that town.
So did you do a bunch of that growing up?
Yeah, more fishing.
Yeah.
I didn't really do much scuba diving and shit.
That would freak me out for some reason, I think.
Still kind of does freak me out, eh? My wife goes scuba diving and shit. I'm like,
she?
Fuck all that.
I wish whatever that fear thing is, like, why would we jump a dirt bike 100 feet, but we don't want to go 20 underwater?
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. I need to probably dig on that.
I used to be scared of the dark, though, bro.
Oh, bro, you ain't the only one. Running past the bed, try to hop on that thing real quick before something grabs your foot.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking the other day, randomly, I don't know, I'm staying at this house by myself. I think it's because I've been living in apartments for a while. Yeah. And I'm like living in a house at the moment, and everyone was out of the house, and it was just me. And I remember thinking, fuck, I would have been scared of this when I was a kid. You know, like
totally.
You'd like lock the door behind you, but then you're like walking to your room, like still looking at the fucking door.
Like something still came in behind you.
Could be there.
That's funny. We're just alike, bro.
Yeah. So I don't know. You won't see me scuba diving too deep, though. I don't think.
Nah.
I just don't need it.
Nah.
That's like skydiving and shit.
Never.
Yeah,
I'd have to be like 99 or something and just like done it all.
It'd be a good way to go out if you were like ready to check out.
Yeah, but that'd be the only way because I don't want to go like that.
Man, I fucking saw a dude.
What you said? Saw somebody
hit the ground on a fucking parachute, bro. It was in Dubai, or probably shouldn't say. I might cut that bit out.
But yeah, either way,
it was at a place I was staying, and in the middle of the track, bro. There was like a airport right next to the track and like a landing zone, and old mate fucked up and just hit the ground. Bang, came around, and old mate was fucking splat on the ground.
That's tough. See, stuff hectic, like that, like dude, you can pull it just right and it don't go.
Fuck yeah.
I don't fuck with that.
So that dude hits the ground, right? So he hits the ground, and then we were just like, I think it was like 2 hours. We were just standing there waiting for like the paramedics and they come and get him and like the cops and the whole thing. So we just like got the parachute, put it over the guy so that you couldn't see. Yeah, dude, this was in.
That's horrible that you had to see that.
This was in like February. So,
so that happened kind of recently.
Yeah. So then get this, a week later, I had a meeting with there was a company called me about doing some like advertising for like this skydive place, and I'm like, I don't know if I can sell it, bro.
Yeah, like, that's tough. That's a hard sell right now. I just had to go through it.
Yeah, I'm like, I like money, but I just don't know if I can fucking do this. Like, I don't know if I can sell that product, bro. And then another few days later, I had a friend who does the marketing for like a learn to skydive company, and he hits me up and he's like, hey, this company wants to like put you through the course. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, all those things. I'm like, hey man, I just gotta tell you that I ain't ever fucking jumping out of a plane.
No way. Why they try to chase you down so hard?
Man, it was
I definitely would not be going if it was looking for me that hard either.
Nah, it was
you wouldn't catch me out there.
It was crazy, dude. This guy just landed fucking bang in the middle of the track, and I was like, dude, what the fuck?
I can't even imagine.
Life's going so good until it's not. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, bro, that would be fast.
That was sorry to take you on a weird tangent.
Oh no, you're good. We talk real shit.
But yeah,
that happened.
That was a fucking weird day, man. I couldn't believe it, eh? But that's why you know why scary shit's fucking scary? For that reason, it can fuck you up.
I know, man.
Like the dudes that did the submarine thing. Imagine that.
No, dude, just crunching like that.
Oh, that would be quick.
I mean, I guess I hopefully didn't even know, but that's not it.
No, dude. Imagine,
send a GoPro down there. That's really, really good, man. You don't have to be down there to see it.
Yeah, dude. Imagine. It must just get so boring being that rich. You know what I mean? I guess.
I mean, I wonder what would convince somebody to think that was a good idea.
Just like
you would just have to have done it all, I guess.
That's what I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, well, you just got so much money that you've done everything else. It's like, what else is there to do? You could go to the Titanic. Oh, fucking sign me up.
Let's go.
As soon as I saw the Xbox controller, bro, I'm out.
No, bro, that was like PS1.5.
Yeah.
They was messed up.
I've seen, James Cameron did it. The Titanic director.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he
took a trip down there before it.
But like in a real submarine.
Oh yeah.
Like he spent a fucking grip of money making
why would you not? If you're really that rich, why not be in something that is safe?
So when you see what he did it in, like I watched a documentary on it years ago, right? So then you see what he did it in, and then the news story comes out about a missing fucking sub, and then you see that, you're like, oh, they're in a fucking ice cream punnet with an Xbox controller. Yeah. Like I've seen one that works, and I can tell that ain't it. That one doesn't work.
No, bro.
But I feel like it would have been quick. They reckon it's like 0.3 of a second. It would have just gone from like the space that it was in to just done.
I hope for their sake. That's crazy.
Imagine just fucking the panic that you'd feel being in that. Like
when the controller quits going or the lights go out or whatever, man.
Yep. Something has to.
Nobody knows how long they really sat down there for it happened. That's the part that would get me. It might not have been that fast.
So like I'd say like the ending would have been quick. But damn, you're in the waiting room waiting for that to happen.
No, bro, we already in the waiting room, but that's just dread. I can't do that.
And imagine you'd be that billionaire dude that's got all that money. You would feel like the biggest fucking idiot being down there on that thing.
It wouldn't feel good.
Nah, you'd just be like, why the fuck I did not need to do this.
Would you ever go on a submarine? Like a legit one?
Yeah, like if it was like a Navy submarine or like one that...
I still don't know if I would.
Really?
I mean...
But you go on a plane. It's just like a submarine that's in the air.
Yeah, I'll be having to talk myself down every time too, though.
You really?
I mean, not really, but you really.
But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. You're high up there.
Yeah.
I just feel like most of the time if something does happen, it's going to be hard to ride it out.
Yeah.
But most of the time, nothing happens.
No.
So don't worry about that shit till it does.
Yeah, the flying, it's kind of crazy how good we've got flying. Yeah. Like, we figured it out.
Yeah, they got it dialed pretty good.
Like, for the most...
Yeah, I know.
For the most part.
I'll be shaking on the way back to Nashville.
Yeah. Man, you just would think that one would be harder than the water.
It had to be. But it might be just as quick. I don't know, man.
Yeah. They figured that out though.
Yeah, they got it dialed.
Yeah. I think it's I always think it's crazy doing the long haul stuff, like going from country to country.
Yeah, that would freak me out. Like
so fucking
even
long,
today
bro.
was like 4 hours, which ain't that long, but we had our dog with us, and I'm just thinking the whole time, like, what am I going to do if she does have to piss? or whatever. Like,
and she's an old dog too.
She's an old girl too. Yeah. So I'm like, we're up here. I don't know how good of an idea this is.
What's the longest flight you've ever done?
Man, I mean, probably that. I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I ain't never done one too long. I ain't even got a passport.
Really?
No, not
you need
yet.
to get on that.
I got to quick because I'll end up needing it and don't have it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you done much tours yet?
I toured with FGL for like 2 years, writing songs. So that was something cool they did for me when I first signed my deal with them, was to help me get better as a songwriter and an artist. They brought me on the road with them for the whole tour.
Wow.
And just let me see like what songs the crowd reacts to. And they used to have a bus that came out they would bring songwriters and producers on every week so they could write songs on the road. And they'd let me go out on it every week and write with the most badass dudes that I like really shouldn't have been in the room with at the time. And just, I got to soak up so much shit.
Dude, that's insanely valuable.
So that was really cool, but it wasn't my own tour or anything.
Yeah.
I feel like, I guess right before COVID, I'd started touring and opening for a lot of people. And then when that happened, everything got zapped. And it's kind of been, I really haven't been playing too many shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready to get back to it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to blow up through that time. Like there's
so weird.
Yeah, like even I like Jack Harlow a lot, and you could hear in some of his music he's talking about like he kind of blew up right before COVID or right kind of in COVID, and it's like he's doing. I guess he was doing a lot of shows as like a early artist when no one was watching, but it's like
same.
Yeah, then you go in and you blow up, and then the next lot of tours you do, you're in like fucking arenas and shit.
It'd be crazy. I mean, I'm curious to see what kind of tickets we can sell, because the song is getting Jack and Diet Coke's blowing up pretty good, and I don't know what I can sell. You know what I mean? We ain't went out and tried.
When's your first lot of shows you reckon you'll do?
So I'm doing some one-off stuff this fall.
Cool.
I got a few things with Jack Daniels and a couple like little charity events, private events I'm going to do just to knock the dust off.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do any festivals I can get, but it's probably mainly going to be next spring and summer. I'm going to try to open up for a couple artists. I don't know who yet, but we have a few ask out, and so that'll be fun. And I'm hoping by next summer Jack and Diet Coke will be, I mean, that's a long ways away from now, but hopefully a year from now that thing is, everybody knows it. So I'm praying we're out doing that Jack thing. Just go from nothing to big rooms. And because like a lot of people are out there singing and doing shows while something's blowing up. So they get to feel the crowd and they get to see the growth. And I'm kind of like, I see the numbers growing, but I don't get to I don't get to feel it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that, because that's my favorite part is, I don't know, I love writing them, but I really like performing them.
Oh, dude, I bet. Yeah, that's it's funny the internet landscape and the way that shit can blow up online. Even doing this, you know, like you see, like, damn, that podcast got 1 million downloads. And it's just
that's
like,
crazy.
That's fucking cool.
And you don't even have to be out doing. You don't have to be out doing a show for people to see it.
Yeah, but
that's crazy.
But you're like looking at the screen, and then it's just a number, and you're like, dope. It's not money. I can't spend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not like 1 million people standing here watching us right now.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think at least me myself, I don't give myself the credit.
Yeah.
Because when I really look at that, and somebody's like, you realize there's like 800,000 people in Nashville. So picture every person in Nashville streaming your shit this week. That's what happened.
Yeah.
And then you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's actually like we're all kicking way more ass than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah.
Because we're that comparison and just looking at somebody else's numbers and likes and all that, man, it's toxic a little bit, because we're all kicking ass and half of us don't know it.
Yeah, and there's such a weird disconnection that you can have when it's not in front of people. Like when it's just on the internet, or when it's like a streaming number, or like being in a crowd of, let's say you do a 50,000 cap show, you know, like that would feel way more intense than looking at 50 million streams when you're just sitting in your laptop in fucking sweatpants and camo Crocs.
Yeah, you know what I mean, bro?
You're checking the laptop, you know.
I'm at home and I'm like, wow, 10 million is crazy. But also like nothing's really changed yet. Like I'm still sitting here like, how do I fix my truck right now? How do I get to the track? I'm really going to ride Supercross Friday, and I haven't rode Supercross in 6 years. I'm just like, I start to spiral.
Yeah, and it's just not tangible. But I think...
Yeah, you know.
But I think it's cool in a sense to where, like, there's nothing to lose your head about. You know, like, it's kind of easy to be humble when it's like that, you know? Because it's like, it ain't really nothing much different.
I mean, there's been a little bit of, like... I kind of enjoy being a recording artist and a writer. Like, I don't know. I know the shows are going to be a big grind.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of time and a lot of effort. Yeah. So, like, a little bit nervous about that flip side of the coin. I want to feel it, but I kind of like being low key. You know, that's my thing. I've always been really shy and stuff, like, for the most part growing up. So to be an entertainer is kind of a weird.
Yeah.
I kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
I always thought I'd be a writer. I kind of gave up on the artist dreams and then just kind of got a lucky break and a chance, so I took it.
Yeah. It's cool, man. It is the touring thing's gonna be a lot though. Like I've done a couple tours with some bands, like when we were filming, we're doing some like documentary stuff. We did a Europe tour, which was crazy, and then we did they were on Warp Tour, so we did a bunch of Warp Tour stops.
I bet that was fun back then, bro.
Dude, it's so fucking hot. Like crazy.
It's a grind though, because it's like every day. I feel like
and
they don't get many breaks.
Nah, and it's in summer, but there's so many people that it's like way hotter than
it feels
you know what I mean, like
than
just the temperature.
Yeah,
but those boys, it was a grind for them for sure, just to be kind of on the road. But it'll just make you feel a bunch of these new feelings, you know.
Oh, it's gonna be sick. I can't wait to hear people sing a song back to me.
Dude.
Like I remember first time I did a writer's round and I played Little Bit and I heard people out there singing it. It was the coolest shit ever to me because nobody's ever sang it back to me.
Yeah.
Usually when I was open for somebody, it was all unreleased music. Or even when I was doing the shows with 7 Deuce, I didn't have any music out. So I'd pull up and sing 20 songs. Nobody had a way to know because they weren't out. And it's going to be cool to actually get to feel that with some folks. I'm looking forward to that big time.
You could play Jack and Diet Coke right now at a show and you'd have people singing that shit.
I hope, man. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I still haven't heard it out in the wild. Like, it's not on the radio officially yet, but like I haven't heard it at a bar or like a car go by. But
really? So it's that. To me, I feel like, that song's blown up, but it's still got a ways to go.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
It seems like it's pretty in its infancy for sure.
Yeah, okay. So how, like, that song, like, or a hit song in general, there's like a lifespan for it in a sense, to where you think that it's still pretty early days for it. Like, what's the stages that a hit song goes through?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of different all the time, whether it's like one of those big viral ones that blows up quick or like a little bit. I think Nelly had it on the radio like 2 years. He sang it on Dick Clark's New Year's Eve twice, which is really rare because most of the time people do it and it's over. They're on to the next. So some artists really stretch it out and they make a big slow buck, and then some people try to get a really big, fast, impactful number and then move on to the next and do it again. So it's kind of different every time. I don't really have too much to base it off of. I just go off what the label and people on my team say, but they're like, you're just getting started. This is just getting started.
Yeah, well, if it's not even out on the radio yet. Fuck, dude, when that hits radio.
Man, it should be. I mean, we had the best streaming week ever this week.
Really?
So far, it's like 1.2 million just in the last week. And I'm just thinking, if it's on the radio and it's impacting that many more people, I mean, the way it's been multiplying is crazy already, but it seems like when that happens, it's going to really be off to the races.
Yeah, because I remember when we were at Loretta's, it was after one of Jeff's motos, and I just went up to him and I just, how'd you go, blah, blah, blah. I think Brownie smoked him. And he was regretting every life choice he ever made.
He came out mad the next day.
And then he was just like, man, there's this guy who's made this song, like, you got to hear this song, like, he'd be awesome on the podcast, like, and
so sick.
He was so hyped on this, like, genuinely, like, That's why I was like, yeah,
that's sweet.
If you're that hyped on it, like it must be something, you know.
I mean,
but I didn't realize how early it was in the piece.
I mean, even like I was telling you though, I still haven't got to hang with Jeff yet.
Yeah.
Like he literally just liked the song enough, and that I was a moto dude, that he was like trying to throw me a bone and give me some love because he wanted to see it do better. Like he still don't know me like that.
That is cool, man. He's a good guy.
And he's like, Jeff's one of my favorites. Fro is the man to me. I remember, I don't know, maybe 98 or something when he came back to Loretta's after all the shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the first pro rider I ever like met.
Really?
And he had that sick ass camo shift gear on.
Yep.
And I don't know, I didn't know anything, but I knew that dude was cool. and he was cool as shit to me and my cousin, and he signed our little autographs, and I always was a big Fro fan. So like for him to shout me out on Instagram, or him to like connect me with you, or man, it's like that's people that you look up to forever.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And especially to get it this way. It ain't cause I like did something dope in Supercross. It ain't cause I'm Hayden Deegan. It was just like, oh, that's just a random ass kid that loves dirt bikes, and I'd like his song.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, why does Jeff Emig like me? That's crazy.
That is fucking crazy. Yeah.
My heroes shouldn't like something I do.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I thought you were friends the way he was talking about you, you know?
I mean, I feel like we talk quite a bit now.
Yeah.
And we're going to hang out this weekend, but I definitely would call him a friend now. I'm proud to say that. But
that's cool, man.
But it's still fresh, you know what I mean? And there's so many folks, like, people will be like, if Ricky Carmichael follows you, then I'm following you too. And I'm like, Ricky follows me? And I'm like going through, and shit like that is bizarre to see. Like, Coop and all these dudes that I like, you know, some of them are my buddies and some of them I just respect and whatever else. But the fact that they like anything I'm doing blows my mind, because I don't know. I think these folks are the coolest dudes ever. That's what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like they think I'm doing something sick, but they're doing what I wanted to do. So it's like, I don't know. It's really, shit don't feel real, kind of.
Yeah, dude. I believe
yeah,
it.
it's strange.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was trying to find a track last minute to ride.
I saw you post that.
The only people that messaged me back was like Davey Millsaps, Marshall Welton, like no like rednecks in my town were like, come ride at the farm. It was all like balling ass dudes like, oh, we'll find you a Supercross track, cuz. And I'm like,
did you get to ride?
Nah, bro.
Shit.
I had to go get, so the dog, she just became a service dog yesterday.
Yeah. So she went through a training.
Yeah.
Real quick.
So I had to go do that yesterday. It was go ride or bring the dog.
Yeah.
Old girl couldn't come if I couldn't bring the dog. Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Had to bring my girls with me.
Yeah, yeah. So how long are you out of here?
Anyways, say it again.
How long are you out of here for?
So I'll be here till Sunday.
Okay, cool.
So kind of a quick trip.
Yeah.
Came to see you. Yeah. Thank you so much, by the way.
Nah, dude.
I ain't even gonna front. When you called earlier, I was like, I just talked to that motherfucker. That's sick. He sounds just like he does on the podcast. That's hard. So I was just like, I watch your shit a lot. Even when it's folks I don't really know, we try to tune in, because I told her that's the only way we're gonna know who they are.
That's so sick.
But anyways, I come to do this, and Feld invited us out to do that celebrity Supercross thing, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I hope they just let us right at the start, but I'm sure it'll be something.
Yeah. So what?
I'm just playing.
You're on a 450 or 250?
They said they're going to have 2 strokes, 4 strokes, but it's all big bikes, no little bikes.
No shit.
Usually it's 110s.
Yeah, that's what
so
I'm thinking.
I was like, hell yeah.
Fuck,
where do I sign the waiver?
Dude, I want to get in on that. I've never ridden a Supercross track. I wouldn't be able to ride. I should just bring my gear and fucking show up, act like I'm doing it. I got all the passes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'll call Sean when we get off here.
Yeah, yeah. You'd be like, hey,
I can only come if Jace comes.
Dude, I don't know that. I've been training, but I don't know if I've been fucking. I don't know if I could pull that off.
You could.
What's the first port of call on a Supercross track? You hitting the finish line first, or what are you doing?
Probably. I feel like that's
good little warm up.
They're pretty like standard.
Yeah.
I don't know, rhythm sections. I feel like
you can fuck them.
They're straight, bro. They're blind. You don't know how far you jump in finish line. It's usually just the one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, it's gonna be cool though. Like it's just.
Yeah, it ought to be sick. I kind of want to do a J-Law and just take off and start hitting shit.
Fuck. I saw him.
I just ain't got the. I ain't in my bag like that right now. If I've been riding, I swear I would. But I know they wouldn't have me back.
Imagine just being the dude that you're at like the celebrity Supercross thing, and you can just put the whole track together.
Yeah, and you just go out there and
Channing Tatum
sling a fat one over the finish line. And they're like, stop! And you're just sideways.
Yeah, and Channing Tatum's there on a TTR fucking 125, just looking like, damn, who the fuck is that dude? Just like got the mullet flying out the back.
Yeah, you know.
Jack Daniels.
I told a couple of my boys, I was like, man, if I was with my shit right now, I would do it. Because if you hit the triple and send it and you land perfectly smooth, they're not going to chew your ass.
Nah, it's only if you
they're
fuck
going to be
up.
like, yeah. And if you bomb it, then you're never coming back.
Yeah.
So I'll reserve that till next year or whatever.
And then so you got to meet all like the label people and everything like that as well, or?
Where at again? I'm sorry.
In Cat, like today, you went and...
Oh, so...
no, it was you management, sorry.
Yeah, so my management, like I was telling you, Will manages Wiz Khalifa too.
Yeah.
So they got Khalifa Kush.
Yeah.
And of course, when I touched down, I had to go get a pack
up
for us.
Yeah.
So I actually was just meeting some people on the team I ain't never got to meet before. He was just blessing me with that little box for us to enjoy. Yeah. Yeah, so that was cool. And then... It's cool how their team is too. Like they're based in Pittsburgh, but they got people in LA. They got people in Nashville, Memphis.
Nice shit.
So it's pretty sick. So I'll probably be seeing my day-to-day girl out here at Supercross. Try to get her out there, and it's been crazy though. They've been so helpful, just like working up little deals and stuff, and getting people excited that should have been a long time ago.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Just stuff that I don't know. They've done more in a couple weeks than I've seen in years, so it's pretty sick.
That's right. Wait, I'm gonna piss real quick.
Yeah, rock it.
Yeah, you need to go as well?
Oh shit, I might just step out here and see how old girl's doing. Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like we've been talking a minute. I don't know how long you usually go.
3 hours normally, or like between 2.5 and 3 hours, just depending.
And then do you just?
No, we don't edit shit.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Sick.
No.
Or I guess unless it's one of them things that you just.
Unless it's something that you gotta take out, then I'll just leave everything in.
Might as well.
You were saying before that the first songs you were rapping over was Wiz Khalifa beats too.
Yeah, 100%.
You've had so
Kush
many
and Orange
of these.
Juice, Prince of the City, all that stuff.
You've had so many weird full circle moments.
Oh, it's crazy. It really doesn't make sense, some of it, because I don't know. Like I said, that was my dream. That was my first goal. Like Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa were, when I started trying to be an artist, they were the most impactful on me. I was about 18, and I don't know what I loved about that Pittsburgh sound so much.
Yeah.
But that was it for me. And we were riding around on back roads in Cadillacs, rapping over Wiz beats, because at the end there was always some instrumental, so we'd talk our shit for the next song. Yeah, and it's kind of funny, like you're trying so hard to get people's attention doing that, nobody ever cared, and then I just do my own thing, and 5 or 6 years later, like that's my gang now, that's my crew, that's my people, which is crazy.
Fuck, you're so right about that whole Wiz Khalifa, Mac Miller, Pittsburgh. Like, man, I still listen to Mac Miller every day.
Same, bro.
Every
Rest in peace.
Fucking day.
We've been jamming him a bunch riding around lately because I just kind of been, I don't know, shit's going really good, but I kind of been bumming a little bit.
In what way?
I don't know. I don't necessarily want to say depressed, but just like feeling like I'm in a rut. Sometimes I feel like, you have a week where the streams go down or something, or like the activity on the profiles drops $100,000 and you're like, shit, there it goes. Yeah. And I've just been getting in my own way, honestly. To be fully honest with you, just worrying about shit that really ain't even real. Yeah. And
you can't do that.
Nah. Shit's too good right now. Yeah.
Well,
and it might not be this good again for a while. So to worry my way through the good days, then when the shitty days come back, you didn't fill your cup up to have any energy to get through them. Yeah. And I think that's kind of been my thing, is I just been grinding since March, trying to get somebody to care again. Yeah. And I kind of quit caring a little bit, just self-care dwindled. Yeah. Stuff like that, that's just not the end of the world, but things I need to get back together before, before you are 30 pounds heavier and like you have 6 months of work to do to get back where you were.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that when it comes to like worrying about the numbers and all that sort of shit, like I always try and just think long game. You know, like there's just the people that win at this, like fucking Johnny Cash, bro. Motherfucker died singing and doing shows, and
that's crazy. That's how I want to go. You know, he was making his best music up until the time he went.
Years before he died, man. And it's like, I think that, you know, like there's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, they say begin with the end in mind. That's like one of the
that's good.
I think it is the first chapter of the book. So it's like
you gotta know where you want to go. I guess.
Always think about the end game. And the end game doesn't give a fuck about 100K streams down on a week.
Nah, bro, because nobody cares or ever thinks about it again.
You're just looking for that aggregate. You know, you're looking for that, like what have you done over a sustained period of time? And like the most powerful law in nature is compounding, you know, and it's just like whether that's fitness, whether that's relationships, whether that's your, you know, the songs that you put out. Like I look at our YouTube channel, it's like just every day we're just adding videos, and that video gets views on top of the other video, you know. So it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to let those little things kind of bother you if you've got the end in mind, you know. Yeah,
you're right. You ain't worried about the signature if you see the picture.
Yeah,
that's what my old man used to say.
Yeah.
Gotta see the whole picture, not just the signature who painted it.
That's so true, eh?
Yeah, I'm so bad at looking at the little details instead of zooming out. You know what I mean?
You care though, you know. And I feel like when you've been broke so long, and when you've been down so long, and you finally have something to lose, I think that fucks with people.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's probably what it is more than anything. I'm really good at having nothing.
Bro,
I'm not really good at having.
Yeah, I feel you, dude.
Having love, having a lot of stuff, man. I fuck a lot of things up. I'm really good at self-sabotage or just running something dry.
Yeah.
Knowing it's about out of gas and still keeping it wide open.
Fuck it. Yeah.
And then you're like, well, why'd it run out?
Yeah.
Why am I sitting on the side of the road? It's because I stayed pedal down when I didn't need to.
Yeah.
I had it twisted sometimes.
Yeah, man, I've definitely been through that, where it's like, especially with this, periods where you have something for the first time that you're like scared to lose, you know, and then it's like, it's a lot easier. From the outside, it might look harder to like live the way you would have been living. Or and that was one thing my parents used to say to me. They'd just be like, man, how are you fucking down to live like this? You know, like you just literally gypsying around the world, and you're like he's like, that's no way to live. And I'm like, man, I don't have anything to lose. Like, it's kind of easy to have nothing, you know, like what you said, it's kind of easy to be broke. It's
free. Sometimes when I think about like, why was I such a free spirit then? It's because I had nothing to lose. I was looking for something worth losing, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Or worth not losing, rather, you know. So
yeah, and then it's the same thing in like relationships. Like, you know, people can love you, and then you got something to lose, you push it away. Like that's a very real thing to go through.
Yeah, man, I'm the worst at that. I mean, whatever. This morning, I'll just tell on myself, but like I'm so kind to the lady at the desk, so she don't get on to me about my service dog. But then me and my girl get to griping at each other over something silly as hell that she don't deserve me being a dickhead.
Yeah.
But that's my closest person. That's who I feel safest with, and then it leaks out, and like I'm trying to cap that shit, because that can't happen.
Yeah. No, I feel you though. Like,
I don't need to happen to nobody, but it shouldn't leak out on you people that's like your people.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it does sometimes.
Well, and I think that the people that you're closest with are the ones that you sometimes push the hardest, because like it's like they're so close that you can push them away, you know what I mean?
Whereas, because you think they ain't gonna go.
Exactly. Yeah, you think that they'll stick around.
It's a fucked up mentality.
Yeah, people don't. Like some people dip.
Some people dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's scary is some of them hang on a really long time, and then they dip when you least expect it, because they finally had enough. And I don't want to run her off. She's a good one.
She is a good chick.
But I'm definitely hell on wheels.
Yeah.
So I'm a lot to handle, and I'm thankful that she can do it. But anyways, I'm trying to get that shit together, because I'm too bad about just wide opening it and just pushing and pushing and pushing, because that's what I do to myself.
Yeah.
I feel like folks like us, you know, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to be kind of gritty. Like, I'm not too nice to myself sometimes because it's kind of like that football coach yelling at you, like, you got to do this. You don't have a choice. You want to pay that light bill, you're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
And I can't treat my girl or my dog or my friend or my manager or my team or anybody around me like that. So I've really been trying to, like, get my shit straight. Just love myself real good. That way I can, like, that way I'm putting out to everybody else like I need to proper, because everybody, you know, thankfully everybody with me right now, they stuck with me through all the shit, whether it was personal stuff or whether it was the boys breaking up, whatever. Like, people see me, anybody in my life right now has seen me through some seasons. Yeah. So I'm trying to, like, make it worth their pain. Trying to make it worth their struggle if they hung out with me, to, like, not make it struggle no more.
Fuck, I can relate to that too, bro. I feel like there's a lot of people that like, they help you when all they've got is your potential to go off. Like, you haven't really done it yet.
Yeah.
And they're like,
that's me.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna help you because, like, I know you can do it. But it's like the whole time they're doing it, like, you've got nothing to offer those people, you know?
Yeah,
and
100%.
It's like,
that's kind of how I felt when I signed them first songwriting deals. Yeah. It was like, there's 100 other guys in this town who already write hits. What are you hearing my bullshit that you think is worth giving me a shot? Because I didn't see it sometimes. Yeah. And I'm just thankful other people don't have I don't know, I guess some of these folks around me, they could just see a little clearer than I could. Yeah. And like I said, I was so hard on myself always that, I don't know, I think maybe sometimes I didn't think it was good or something, even when it was. Yeah. So
yeah, and I think that there's, like, you're a nice dude too. And
Thank you, brother.
That there's a lot to be said for just being a fucking good guy, you know, like, because there's a lot of dickheads in the world. And it's like,
man, I don't want to be that. I've been that.
Yeah.
I don't like when nobody's at to me.
But I know, like, one of my best friends, right? He's dialed now. Like, it was funny when I was doing, like, magazine stuff back in the day. He was selling fucking drinks and shit, you know, like, he was working for Rockstar back in Australia back in the day. And man, like, he's made now, like, he's fucking good. And
that's sick.
I look at all these things in his life. Like, it was really cool to watch his come up and to watch his growth, because I just got to see things happening to him because he was just the best motherfucker.
That's
like,
sick.
Like, people would look
That's what you want.
Yeah, people would look at him and they would just do a deal with him purely based on how good of a guy he was. It's like, if you're that good of a dude, then, like, I want to do business with you. And it's like,
that's who I want to be.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the case with, you know, the people that kind of helped you out. It's like, yeah, there's 100 great dudes that can write a hit, but, like, do I want to hang out with this dude when we're not writing? You know, like, there's a lot to be said for just, like, generally being a good dude.
Well, I appreciate that a lot, man. I guess, I mean, honestly, that probably is what's got me where I am. It's not because I feel like I'm one of the hardest workers, but I don't think I'm the most just naturally gifted, talented guy that can just go out there and sing the phone book.
Yeah.
Like, I really got to work for that shit.
Yeah.
I got to practice singing. I got to try to memorize it. It don't just come easy to me, and I don't. Shit, man, I lose my track sometimes here when we talking these, but what was we saying, man? Sorry.
Well, just the fact that you're being just being someone that people kind of want to be around.
I guess it was just kind of that was like, I wasn't the coolest dude necessarily, but I just always tried to be thankful and be grateful and be a good hang and not be a pain in somebody's ass, you know. And I don't know, I think
that shit adds up. And
I think it definitely counts. And
for more than people think it does.
Yeah, and even if it's just like a good vibes, just a good juju thing, like, I think if you keep putting the good out, like, it will find you eventually. Like,
I completely agree.
And it took a long time of, like, thinking, do I need to be good? Do I need to be hard like these people to, like, get them to be nice to me? Or it took a lot of that shit to realize, like, just being
yourself.
Being yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's like how you talk to somebody or how you sing, how you write, whatever, but that's just what's always going to win. It's the only thing I can maintain.
Yeah.
Like, I remember times in my life where maybe I was interviewing and I talked like this, really clear and really up here.
Yeah.
And then I talked to my homies real lazy and real country, and I talked to my mom in one way, and I'm like, I'm trying to be more consistent. That way, like if I have all my groups of people around,
this is who I am.
That's Red. Yeah. He just talks like that.
Yeah.
He's not putting on no more. He ain't doing nothing funny. That's just it's just who he is. And then people can kind of take it or leave it, and it's not so much of a show all the time. It's just like it just is what it is, you know.
Yeah. When you were around the Florida Georgia Line guys and you got that experience, like what was it like to see, because that's about as behind the scenes as it gets in the country music world.
For sure. And they were kind of on top at the time too. I mean, they were kicking ass. I think that was probably one of the best things for me, like work wise, was seeing how they do it. Like it's not just a big party.
Yeah.
They would show up, we would get up in the morning and work out. We would write songs at 11 every day, like we were in town.
They were regimented.
Yeah, and then like they go do their radio stuff and all their press stuff, and they do the show, and then we're all working on the songs on the bus, and then they get off the stage, and we listen to the songs we wrote, and then we drive to the next city, and we wake up and work out, and we write. So like I was seeing this, and you think it's just a party.
Yeah.
And then like backstage at their show, it's all like old men crew workers. It's not we're having fun, but like they were there to do a job, because the people there spending their money, that's their Disney. A lot of those people do one thing a year, and it's that concert. So they're not trying to be drunk and carrying on and like ruining your show that you spent $1,000 to come see. So that was something cool for me to just be like, treat it with respect and really make sure that you nurture these people that come to buy your tickets and listen to your songs, because it's not just a party.
Yeah.
It is a job, and it is like there's a bigger purpose behind it than just songs and and a good time.
And I think that's where moto comes into play in a way, because it's like you've learned a work ethic, and it's like the same thing. The Supercross ain't the lights and the Monster Girls and the opening ceremonies. It's the Sunday long haul flight to get back home. It's the recovery cycle. It's the massages. It's the weights. It's the like it is that grind. So it's like
100%.
You've been, your previous life to doing what you've done now. Like you've kind of got this work ethic that is built in,
100%. I think the work ethic's a huge thing, just because it never ends. Riding, it never ends.
Yeah.
And as soon as you hold the trophy up, and as soon as you put it down, it's over. It's a clean slate the next week.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man.
It's kind of like you're only as good as your last race. You're only as good as your last song. There's a lot of parallels.
Ton, man. And it's shit.
What was it like to see those guys breaking up? Like, because you're just doing your own thing.
Tough.
And then you don't have to worry about that, but to kind of see that whole situation play out.
I mean, kind of like being a kid in a divorce, really. If I could be totally honest with you, I ain't never really talked about it too much, because they were always going through it, but it's far enough out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know, you don't got to pick sides, but if mom and dad don't live together no more, you got to go to one of them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really pick, because both their names was on my check every week, and both of them loved me, and both of them believed in me. So like it just got a little like muddy sometimes, like, trying to love on both of them and write for both of them and hang with both of them, and it's like you're caught in this thing that you don't really know what it is. No, they don't even know what it is. It was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because that was my family.
Yeah.
That was the first people in Nashville that gave me a chance.
Yeah.
And that was my boys that I hung out with, and then it was just kind of like they broke up, and then like all our homies that wrote together kind of quit writing together, and everybody kind of just, we all just had to do our own things. Yeah. It was innocent. It was no like malice or no bad intent, but like I've been telling you, I'm so loyal that I thought that shit was going to be forever.
Yeah.
I'm just to ride it out till the wheels fall off. So for the wheels to fall off, even though it wasn't like our doings or whatever, you know what I mean? It was just kind of sad to see everybody it was a lot more than just two guys like quitting singing together. It was all them crew guys I'm telling you about, and all the band and all that family and all that, like, dude, that badass structure that was so inspiring. Yeah, just kind of like vanished. And now they're doing it on their own, you know, and we're all still doing our thing, but it's a lot different. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, from the band that I was going on tour and stuff with, they had two brothers in the band, and then one of the boys left the band because he's like a really good producer.
Hell yeah.
And he was like really kind of coming into his own on his producer shit, and then one of the singers left, and then the tour manager left, and it was like we were kind of watching, just being like, damn, this sucks. Like, this is a family. Like, these guys for 5 years have just been living in these buses together, and they've spent more time with each other than their family. And you know, when that shit goes south, it's a heavy deal. There's a lot more at stake than just two dudes writing songs.
Yeah, to me it was like, I don't know, that's my people I work out with. That's my people I have real talk with. Like, that's who I go to when I'm having problems with my girl or my dad or whoever. Like, that was my, like, everything, folks. So to not have that, or just not have it as, like, readily available and not have everybody there doing it together, was just like, that was the biggest dent. We can all keep making music with whoever the hell we want. Like, we're all good writers and can do that shit on our own, but just to see that, like, core, like, family thing just kind of dissolve was hard, because like I said, I don't have a lot of folks really. My family's all kind of passed on, most of them, so that was my boys, that was my family. So I lost a lot more than just like co-writers and work and stuff. I mean,
what lessons did you learn from it though, like seeing it all go down? Did it teach you anything about what you don't want to have happen in your career?
Man, I'm bad about, well, I'll say sometimes I overthink. Sometimes I think about it 10 times, and sometimes I won't think twice. And it's usually the one I think about 10 times didn't deserve a second thought, and the thing that I didn't think about twice, I should have fucking sat on. And I think just, I don't know. I'm sure everybody's happy with the decisions that they made, but I think it just taught me to, like, make sure that you want to do what you do, because if you push that person or you break that thing or whatever, you might not be able to get it back. Or you might, but it might be different. It might be good different, it might be bad different. But it just taught me to make sure you, like, really think about what you're doing before you do it, because once it's done, it's done. So you just got to make sure. I mean, I think that it kind of made me take that into my song selection process. Like, once you put it out, it's out forever. If it blows up, cool. If it don't, whatever. But once it's out there, it's out there. So, like, don't just do what you think is going to be viral or cool or whatever. Like, really sit on that shit and take some time, and don't just rush it out because you need another single in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it just taught me to really make my decisions count, because you don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah. You don't know what that's going to do. Yeah. Especially if you're hot-headed or something, or if you, like, make a decision out of
emotion.
Emotion. And I'm bad about that. I wear my feelings on my sleeve. I think that's why I'm the writer I am. Yeah. It's because I do feel so much. Yeah. But it's kind of a catch-22.
For sure. Yeah.
Sometimes it gets you into trouble.
Yeah. It would have been cool though to be around that kind of structure and routine, and like even just the working out every day. Like, they're all things that it would have been really cool for you to see people at the top of the top that lived like that had that level of discipline.
Because I never would have expected it to be that, especially from the movies you see and the stories you hear and stuff. It seems like this big grand party, and they're really, like, busting ass to make sure they don't lose it. And it's kind of that thing we've talked about all day, is like, you know, they came from having to be pretty scrappy too. So it's that, like, they ain't taking this shit from me. Yeah. I'm going to outwork all y'all. Yeah. And I don't care. I will try to outwork you. I just need to know what to do. Yeah. So when I got to see what the best of the best was doing, they were writing 5 days a week, and they were XYZ. I was like, well, I'm going to write 6 days a week. Yeah. And I'm going to whatever, so that I can try to be as good as them. Yeah. it definitely raised my bar way up.
Yeah. So what's a week in your life look like?
Recently, it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Traditionally, man, I like to try to write songs every day.
Yeah.
At least Monday through Friday, you know, I try to write as much as I can.
And so what's your process when it comes to that?
Man, it's a little different every time. Sometimes you start with a title. Sometimes you start with a melody. Sometimes you just got a cool little guitar lick. But that's what's fun for me is it's really different every time. And I write so many different kind of genres that if I'm getting bored of one or if I'm starting to be repetitive or whatever, then I'll just like start leaning into another sound for a little bit.
Yeah. So you're writing like country, like raps, like you're kind of writing you're just writing just to write. Like you're not necessarily writing with the intention to like make songs at this point, essentially.
Well, recently it's kind of changed because once Jack and Diet Coke started doing good, they wanted to do a project. So
you'll have an album that you'll be working on.
Yeah, for sure.
Sick.
And I've got it pretty much done right now. Just got to get the production all finished up. But man, shit. Apologize, bro.
No. That's all good. No. We've been going deep.
Yeah, where were we, man? Sorry, I'm always on a good one and then I lose it.
Yeah.
The KK wearing off.
Yeah. When so what are you? Like, are you writing like a full song every day,
right.
or like how's it? Because that shit's pretty intriguing to me. Like, you just how it actually happens.
Used to, I hammered them out. It was like, I'm not leaving this room until the song's done.
Like a whole song.
Yeah, and they would be like 98s. Yeah. They would never be 100 because they got rushed or like we didn't think about something long enough. I think Jack and Diet Coke is the first song in a really long time that I didn't finish in a sitting. We had already had a really long day. We all had a write before our afternoon write. And so we were wore out. We didn't have time or brain to write a whole song. So we just wrote a real quick verse chorus and I went home. And then I got to really sit with it and think about what the second verse wanted to be. And, you know, I sang it 100 times. My girl wasn't reacting. I'm like, why do you not like this shit? It made me like really dig with my pen, you know. I spent a couple weeks on it, probably overall just
no shit
figuring out the chords and changing the tune up a little bit. And so that kind of made me be like, maybe you don't always need to finish it in a sitting. Because sometimes I'm scared if I don't capture the whole idea, it's gonna peter off and I'm gonna lose it. Yeah. But usually it doesn't happen like that. So I'd say since March or April, I've just been trying to like take one as far as I can. And then when I start getting tired of it, just chill. So then you don't get angsty, then you don't get...
And you're not rushing it.
Yeah, and it just seems like the songs have been a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's like a certain... I imagine there's just like reps, you know, like you just do reps of making... Like because there's song structures, there's like different types of rhyming words. There's, you know, like I'm sure that
so much
there's a lot
stuff.
there's a lot of value in just like reps. And especially like when you're being paid to be a writer, like I'm sure when you get at a table with like the FGL boys, it's just like pressure's on. Like we're writing right now. Like you gotta have something to say.
For sure. Especially with artists like them that write a lot of stuff or people that really know what they want to say. Some artists don't even really write, but they know what they want to say or sing. So it's like, it's tricky sometimes to pick between like, are we writing for you? Are we writing for me? Are we writing to pitch it? Are we just writing to have fun and hope it's good?
Yeah.
Navigating around that is tricky sometimes.
Yeah. What's been like surprising since you kind of got a bit more on the inside in the industry that you didn't expect?
That's a good one.
Because I'm sure there's something.
Man, I think honestly the biggest thing for me was learning about songwriting. Yeah. Because coming up kind of in the hip hop world, I thought you were either an artist or a ghostwriter, and you just sold your song and you didn't get credits. Yeah. So then when I learned there's this whole world of like, you know, regular ass dudes that just drive into town and write a song and go back home and work on their farm or whatever. Like, there's really just normal people writing songs. You don't have to be a ghostwriter and be hidden or whatever. Like, the town runs on songwriters.
That's crazy.
So it's crazy. I mean, like, I think Warner has like 200 signed writers. Sony has a couple hundred signed writers. Like, there's a lot of people in Nashville that's really good that are writing top quality songs all the time that you're having to try to compete with, and it's a weird world.
Yeah. But I'm sure that's like a good way to make a living, like, because you've got to have, like, you're lucky to be like, you've got a cool look, you've got your own vibe, like you could be an artist, you know. But there's probably some dude that's amazing at writing songs where it's just like he's just not that cool, not personable, doesn't want to perform, gets real nervous on stage, has a terrible singing voice. So it's just like, but the dude could probably write the craziest shit.
100%.
It's cool that there's a lane for that guy.
Yeah, and there's some people too who, like, they could have been the most badass artists ever. They got the look, they got the voice, but they want to have a family. So instead, they just write a really good song and sing the shit out of it, and then anybody that hears it wants to grab it. So there's some guys on the other side of the coin too that, like, maybe you thought, well, looks like it didn't work out for him, and like they chose that path. Because they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. So the songwriting game is pretty cool because, I don't know, when you're old and you ain't that pretty no more, you can still write songs. Like, a couple falls ago, I broke my arm and my shoulder riding. I started racing again, and I could still sit there and type songs though. You know what I mean? Like, so my songwriting's kind of my thing. Nobody could ever take from me. So once I got like put onto that, that changed my life, I think.
Fuck, that's cool, dude. Speaking of songwriting, there was Tyler the Creator wrote a song for a chick. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'd have to think, man. He writes for a bunch of people.
It was
low key.
Yeah, when I heard that he wrote, it was like, fuck my pussy, like just all. It was just like some straight bad bitch shit, and he fucking wrote it, and I was
funny.
Like, that's a cool example of like what songwriting is, you know, like you can just be.
That's so fun to me too.
Yeah,
like,
you can be a character, and like you could. It's fiction in a sense, you know.
Yeah, like I like writing for myself and just telling my stories, but when it's like, let's write the best Aldean song we can today, or like, let's write a song for Meg the Stallion today. And you're like, I can just be
crazy,
a whole nother person and just say melodies that I could never sing and say words I would never say because somebody will. And that's freeing, because to only write that one little structured song all the time would be so boring. And I love that shit.
Dude.
That's kind of how I got started, was like, back in the day, I would try to sing just like Ozzy, or I would try to sing just like Aldean. So like, when I get to go in and put somebody else's hat on, I don't have any ego. I'm just trying to make them as cool as I can make them. I'm trying to bring out the best I can in them. So that's so fucking fun to me.
That is cool.
I don't get to do it enough. And I was kind of doing it too much. To where I felt like I kind of influenced some people's sound. And then they ended up sounding a lot like me, and then they kind of got popular for it, and then everybody thought I was copying. Even though I'm not responsible solely for the sauce, but I'm definitely a contributor. I definitely got that little. I got that Salt Bay. It's coming off every now and then. So,
that's funny. But I mean, at least you know your shit pops off.
Yeah, I know, man. But then I'll try to do one like that.
Then
it already happened. I'm like, we're reading the fine print before you write me off totally.
That's awesome. So when you released Jack and Diet Coke, did it first, like, where was the first port of call for traction on that song?
So full transparency, what happened with that is the label was like, we're kind of in a lull right now. We need you to do something. Start teasing, get on socials. We don't know, but you need to start a fire. So I teased a couple songs and nothing was going. And then I posted Jack and Diet Coke, and I woke up and it took off overnight. So we just kept teasing it. And I literally wrote it like a couple days before I teased it.
No shit.
So I had no intentions of putting it out. I mean, I wanted to, but I kind of felt like my hands were tied until something went viral. Right. Thankfully, it started performing good on socials, and then I had to rush and like get it produced and get it mixed and get it mastered, and that took me about 8 weeks because like Luke Bryan was cutting an album, so my mixer was busy mixing all his music, and I'm just in the queue, you know, so I had to keep teasing it, and so scared that the fire was going to go away before it came out, so I just kept dropping videos. And then when it came out, it just had it had more streams than I've ever had in a day.
Dude, that must have been a cool feeling.
It was sick, bro. It was so validating because you work so hard on these releases, and then sometimes they kind of fall flat because the algorithm don't get a hold of it or whatever, you know. So it was just nice to finally because I pay for my own videos. I really go all out to make sure if I can't do what I want to with the art, that I find a way I can. Yeah. And that's the first one that finally paid off. Yeah. Because I put so much into this stuff that nobody will ever see, just begging people to let me come shoot a video scene somewhere because we don't want to pay for it or whatever. The label didn't want to ask or something. Yeah. So it was so sweet to see something finally pay off. Yeah. And then to see everybody get excited about it internally and see my team start going from 10 people to 20 people to 35 people in a meeting. Yeah. You're like, this is cool. This is really badass to see it actually growing, not just talking about it. It's actually growing.
Yeah. And how big of a part does social media play these days in music with labels and stuff? Is that
quite a bit?
Yeah.
Depending on the
artist.
Like
that now, eh?
It seems like they want a reaction out of people before they drop it. Which, I mean, labels are really good at taking a fire and making it a bigger fire. Yeah. So if you can catch something like that for them to work with, they can make it way bigger than if they just had to, do their own marketing spend on it and do it a non-organic way.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of...
Yeah, yeah. Because, dude, I think, Doja Cat, she probably does the socials better than anyone. I feel like...
She's herself.
Yeah.
She's to herself. I need to take a page out of her book.
Man, she's fucking crazy. Well, you never know, though. Is it she's being herself or she's, trying...
Or is that her act and maybe she's really laid back? Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, I feel like her... Dude, it's crazy how things like TikTok and Instagram Reels can almost change the music industry. It's
oh, for sure.
Reels become this massive thing at TikTok, and it's all about sounds and music, and then it's this 15-second, you just need a loop. There's been so much crazy shit just blow up on a TikTok sound or an Instagram sound.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool, eh?
There's a flip side of it too, though.
Where the labels only want that.
I hate to be the, I'm trying to be less negative these days, but there's also sometimes where it's a really badass song, but your video sucked or you didn't put the lyrics on there with the text. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, well, that song's not tracking with people. And you're like, it's the best song I got. Yeah. It just is not in the algorithm. Yeah. I have 100,000 followers. Why did 200 people see it? I don't know.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's because they didn't like it. Yeah. So there's a little bit of that you got to fight with. Yeah. That's kind of difficult. And sometimes other artists won't want to sing a song if you teased it and it didn't perform good, even if it's a hit. Yeah. And it's just when do we start letting... Not even physical people, but we're just letting numbers. Yeah. We're just letting numbers on here. You don't see all the people watching or not. We're letting numbers pick. Yeah. Not people at shows, not people commenting. We're just looking at numbers. And I get it's a business, but I don't know that the numbers are always super accurate on what is necessarily the best or what's really tracking the most with humans. You know what I mean?
It's hard to qualify the feeling and emotion by tough. Just some numbers. Yeah, no.
And some social media stuff you're making a bunch of money off of, and some you don't make a dime off of. So it's such a
is there
such
any
a
money
fake
to
world.
Be made
you know what I mean?
Do you get when those songs on an Instagram reel or a TikTok and they get used? Does the artist get any royalty from that?
Not too much, man. Unfortunately, I think they're trying to work on it, but right now it seems like
it's a fucking Wild West, with that shit.
Yeah, that's where you might can be an influencer now, or I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's changed a lot compared to I guess the early. You think of superstar artists. I mean, I was in London in July, and at the picture, the art gallery or whatever, they had a Beatles exhibit, and it was it was their photos that they took through their whole come up. And it was like the first time people had ever really been like that famous. They were the first big international art act that came across. And, you know, you just see they're in these hotels and they're shooting on film photography, and everyone in the photos has notepads. Like, there's not a phone, there's not a...
Yeah, I love that.
Just that's a crazy different way to get famous than 2023. Shit blows up on social media.
Yeah, and
which it's good and bad, like you said.
It is good and bad. And like for me, I'm not the social guy, so like I'm really good at doing those little performance videos all day, but like getting on there and doing the rest of it, that's where I struggle. Yeah. And that's where I'm just hoping the music will carry me, because I want to let you in my life, but sometimes my life ain't that exciting, because I really do just write songs every day, and sometimes I write them at home 3 days in a row, and like people, maybe they want to see that, but I don't think they want to see that. you know? So it's like, and again, that's me being in my own way, but it's tough to be the influencer guy and the songwriter guy and the artist guy and all this stuff at one time, like, because they all take so much attention to be good at it.
Yeah, that's also quite true. Well, I think that's when you just start building a team, you know, like you just put those pieces, people into place to play their role, and as long as you've kind of got an idea of where you want to go and who you are, then, you know, you can kind of like let those people,
for sure, you know,
work for you in that sense, you know.
Definitely. And I've been managing it myself for like a year and a half now. Yeah. Because when FGL broke up, man, just like everything else, my management was a friend of theirs, and it's like, well, this ain't here no more, so I don't know what we're gonna do. I believe in you, but you got a long road. So then it was just like starting over again, and to now finally have people helping me with that stuff. Like, a record label is essentially a bunch of levers and pulleys, and you just need somebody that can hit them triggers. Yeah. So now that I have somebody to help me do that, it's been... You know, I had the label there the whole time. They were willing to do the stuff the whole time. They just needed somebody to prompt it, or to want to do it, or to know to do it, whatever it is. Yeah. So now that I have these pieces falling together, it's really made it, I don't know, I'm really hoping that since there is a fire, that all these people can help me, like, really put it together right and build it right. And, you know, we have people asking me to do shows right now, but we just don't want to rush out, and because I've waited 2 or 3 years to like really tour. Yeah, you're itching. So it's like, why not just make it fucking really dope when we do it the first time, instead of just like, oh, we got a buzz, let's go get that cash. Like, I want to be out here feeling people and interacting with them, but at the same time, I want you to like see an unforgettable show the first time you see one. That way you keep coming back for years, and you tell your friends to come, and like you actually want to spend your vacation with me in the summer or whatever, you know.
Yeah, you don't want them just singing back one song.
No, man, I want them to feel it all, and I want them to feel the lifestyle. I want them to know I'm a real dude. Just like I'm trying to sell this, like, not just songs.
Yeah, like, this is me. Like, this is who I am. Yeah,
you could do this shit too if you like take your time with it. Like that kind of vibe. Just like we all put our britches on the same way. Like, you know what I mean? There's not. If I can do it from where I'm from, bro, pretty much anybody can, I think. Yeah. That's how I feel sometimes.
Hell yeah. So, Soupy this weekend.
Supercross this weekend. Can't wait.
You're a big Soupy guy. What have you thought of the whole playoff situation and the season thus far?
Man, honestly, I think the Super Motocross thing turned out way better than anybody thought it would.
Well, it turned out better than I thought it would.
I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't know how they were going to make it, like, really feel like Moto 2, or like how they were going to blend it, especially the venues and stuff. It was just so interesting. And the racing has been tight. It's been a little mixed up. I mean, they're going into the final, winner take all, both classes.
Both classes.
That shit don't happen anymore. You've seen how the outdoors was. I'm so surprised. It's almost like give us a whole season of that shit or something. I don't know. Dude. Give us more of it, because it's really seemed like it evened the playing field. I don't know how all the riders feel, because I know they're getting pretty banged up, and like set up is crazy to try to get it dialed for that, but it's racing again a little bit more than it was. So we've been excited to see it.
I completely agree, man. It's been cool. Like every weekend I've been interested and I've been excited, and Chicago was great. Charlotte was great.
Did you go to either of them?
I was gonna go to Charlotte and stay. So I was gonna go the weekend, and then I was gonna stay like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I had the Verb thing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I just pussed out. I just couldn't be fucked, to be honest. I've just been traveling so much.
I feel you. Same here.
I was like, man, I don't want to be away a whole week. Like, and then you just got to figure all the shit out that you got to figure out. So no, I stayed. I watched it on TV. I rode.
I mean, the TV coverage is good right now.
I
was talking with Davey Millsap. He was like, man, I want to go to the race, but the coverage is really good on my couch. I'm like,
it is good.
I never miss a thing at home.
Yeah.
I go to the race and I'm like blinking, it's over.
Well, I'm pumped to go to a race. Like, I haven't been to a Supercross race in 5 years.
Really?
Nah.
Shit, that's cool.
Yeah, so I
can't wait. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, dude. And it's going to be just cool to, I guess, like, you do live shows and, like, that's my event where, like, all my people are, you know?
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Like, I go there, like, I'll get to see all my people. So I'm definitely excited to, like, see my people as well as the racing. But yeah,
that's
like,
going to be sick.
It's been fucking crazy to watch last weekend's track was so gnarly, dude.
It's pretty crazy. I'd be curious to hear. I mean, I ain't really heard the riders say much input on like tracks. I ain't really watched much of the interviews or nothing either. But I wonder what the overall consensus is. What do you seem to gnarly. Hear? It seems to be pretty brutal.
Yeah. Like last weekend's track, when I text Ben Townley because his kid was racing in like the mini bike one, and I was like, "How's the track?" And he goes, "Bro, it is fucking fast." And when he says that, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, it must be quick.
Like, they're moving then. They had to put that wall jump. That wall jump wasn't there at the start.
Yeah, I know. I seen some of the pictures of people where they were like
just speed tucking
over,
bro.
Just tucked. I'm like,
fuck all that.
Yeah, slow them down a tad.
You can have that.
That's why I liked Arenacross and shit. Is just a tad slower.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win these classes?
Man,
if you had to pick, if you're a betting man.
If I was a betting man, I think Danger Boy wants to win bad. I think he wants to ghost ride that son of a bitch. He wants to have that picture just like Pops, and I don't blame him. I want to see him get that $500,000 and buy as many Nikes as he can get.
I'm about to talk to that boy about watches. He needs to stop buying fucking Dunks, and he needs to start buying fucking watches.
Something that goes up with the years instead of down as soon as you put them on.
Yeah, let's fuck it. If you want to run some cool shit, buy a fucking dope watch.
Are you into watches?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, good to know.
Yeah, this is a bit fucked up, but this isn't.
I like mine. That's the only one I got right now.
What is that?
It's a Shinola.
Yeah, right.
They made in Detroit. They're American made.
No shit.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
That is cool.
And it's kind of my staple thing now, so I need to get me some more colors of them because I'll just rock this one pretty heavy.
Yeah. Do you know those guys?
Not really. I posted a bunch of stuff. Like I always tag everybody on socials just in case they see it.
Look at that. as we were talking.
Tell him I will. I'm gonna be with Red.
That's so sick. Dude, yeah, I think you should get that shit hooked up.
Yeah, trying to.
So you're a watch guy though before?
Well, I really wasn't. I was a jewelry guy.
Okay.
So I guess that's the rapper in me or whatever. But I love some jewelry.
Yeah.
It started hurting my neck though. I ain't even gonna play. I just wore too many, man. I was just dumb, and I'm always leaned over like writing in my phone. I have bad posture, and then you add a couple pounds of necklaces, and then it's just dumb.
Dude, that's so funny. Yeah.
So that was my thing always. Is I just like gold chains, but
yeah, no, I'm a big watch guy. I fucking love a dope watch.
Yeah, I'm starting to get into them more. You can see I keep one on, but I don't really wear my chains too much anymore.
You need to go and put your name down for a Rolex. Go to an authorized dealer. It'll probably take like a year.
Yeah, by the time you call your name, you might can afford one.
Yeah, that's what I did, dude. I was I'm like, I can't afford this shit right now, but fuck it if I ain't ordering one. And I'm like, the day that motherfucker rings me, I'll be ready.
That's how I feel about that Stark. I can't afford one, but I want one.
Yeah, just put your name down. By the time it comes, that shit'll be ready. Nah, that's what I want to tell Danger Boy. Be like, bro, fuck these Dunks.
Yeah,
you got enough.
Rip it.
Let's get some fucking watches going.
I think he could get that shit.
What's the $500,000?
He ain't got the red plate. When he don't have the red plate, he rips ass.
Yeah.
He's gonna fuck him up this weekend.
Bro, that's literally...
That's my 2 cents.
That's what I put on my story today, right before you got here. Because Brian shared, like, the video of him, like, ditching the bike, ghost ride the whip. Yeah. And I reshared the story and I just said, just imagine. ...
Yeah, you know what? You can afford the fine if you make $500,000. Send that thing into the stands.
Fuck yes, bro.
Let that thing rip, bro.
This is a thing, bro. You're fucking Hayden Deegan. I'm very sorry, but people ain't telling you what to do. Like,
no, bro.
You ghost ride that motherfucker.
You gotta send it.
And that will be in every fucking pro. That's like Khabib hitting the Connor throwing the dolly at Khabib. You know, like that shit.
Every Renthal, whatever they run on Star, bro. Everybody be running that.
Yeah, dude. The place. Yeah. Could you imagine the sound that the stadium?
I hope I'm there, bro. I'm never at like a history making one. Dude. I'm always just at the regular ass races, so I hope somebody does something crazy. Yeah, I'd love to see him do it.
And imagine imagine if Hunter does it and just takes the win and then takes the moment. Oh, dude.
See, it's gonna hurt. There's gonna be some feelings this weekend, man.
Someone's getting their feelings hurt.
Yes, and they're still gonna make a bag for second or third, but they're going home.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
Dude, even Shimoda. You're a Cowie boy. You're Cowie team.
I know, bro. Team Green.
Yeah, that's my wife's favorite rider.
I've been fucking with the Joe show lately.
Oh, dude, he rips so hard.
Yeah. I remember when he first came to America. I think it was Mesquite or something in Nevada.
Yeah, yeah.
And he still didn't know English. So I did his interview in his language. He had a translator, and it was the first time I ever interviewed somebody from another country. And I was like, well, can you tell him what I said? And he just say it in his language. And they're like, hell yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
I might have had the first Joe Shimoda interview ever.
Who were you working for then?
Moto Playground.
Okay, I was going to say it was a playground, yeah.
Yep. Just running around, man.
Dude, I fucking love that.
The Everyone Show, we called it. Interview every winner.
That's so good.
Had to get the finish line shot. You want to talk about a tired motherfucker at the end of the week.
Hell yeah!
Had to get the whole moto, and you better get the finish too.
Did you ever work at Loretta's photo wise?
Oh yeah. Fuck. Miserable.
Bro, you've done it, eh?
I got to see some shit, man. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've been around. I got to see every side of it.
Yeah.
A little bit at least, enough to see the whole picture and what all really goes on.
Yeah, definitely. And you can take that everywhere, you know, like it's a lot of experience.
Yeah. It's kind of a template, man. It feels like it's really similar to music. Like there's only one guy that's number one every week.
Yeah.
Everybody else don't matter until next week. Like it's pretty, you getting your feelings hurt a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of no's, but when you get a it feels damn good.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. And you can apply so many lessons. And I think one of the things that I learned pretty early is that like it's all just an industry, and the industry is just made up of people, and there's less people in the industry that consume what the industry makes, you know. So it's like you're on the outside at the start, but it's like there's a small group of people, and we might be talking 5,000, you know, like there might be 5,000 people in the country music industry or the Nashville industry or whatever that sit at those desks. It's like they're just people. And it's the same with motocross. Like
100%.
We're in Southern California right now. There's probably 5,000 dudes that have jobs right now in the industry. And it's like you can bust into the industry. Yes. It always looked like such a big thing from the outside, but you would have found out, you know, like once you start taking photos, you meet this person, then bang, you can call Davey Coombs, or you're only ever like a phone call away.
Don't really take that long to bust it open, man. You just have to like we've said the whole time, you just got to try.
Yeah.
You just give it a shot, and then you end up being where you're supposed to. Yeah. You figure it out, you know.
Yeah. So 450 class, who you got?
Man, that's tough. Who you got? Yeah, let me think for a second. That's a good one.
I'm Australian.
There you go.
So Hunter and Jet.
Bet. I want to see Jet win it.
Yeah.
I like to see him cap off a good year.
Crazy.
He's one of the few dudes I never really got to interact with.
Yeah.
Because I was out of the media shit when he started coming around. But
so you just got to be a fan the whole time.
So I'm just strictly a fan.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy to see somebody that young and that talented doing what he's doing and keeping it together. And I don't know, man. I root for people like that.
Yeah.
Even though he's not the underdog anymore, they were very much the underdogs.
Huge.
And when I hear their stories, like it makes my hair stand up just because I feel it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of myself.
Yeah.
My parents, man, they stayed broke. There was times where we had to boil hot water. Like we didn't have gas for hot water, so we would boil it.
Yeah, like making fires.
So that we had another $100 to try to fucking go to the races. Like, so when I hear their stories about going across the whole world just to let them boys try to live their dream, I'm like, they gotta win. Yeah. So it's hard to root for anybody else because I have that like.
Yeah, you can relate.
Yeah, I mean, it's no shame to the folks that didn't have to come from nothing.
Yeah.
That had a little money and a little help, but like,
it just ain't relatable for you.
Yeah, I just can't relate to it.
Yeah.
That don't mean they didn't work just as hard because their granddaddy or somebody had to bust ass to do that. Like, yeah, somebody worked hard for it.
That's such a good perspective, you know.
Yeah, somebody did work hard for it.
Yeah.
So you can't shit on it.
Yeah.
But I just can't always relate.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it that way.
Yeah.
I still ain't got it.
Yeah.
So I really hope Jet takes that.
Fuck, crazy year, dude. What a crazy to go 22-0 in your first ever 450 season.
Yeah, and like the fact that he didn't ride the whole season and he's still like
in the SMX deal.
He's still in the deal. Like, I don't know, man. Hard to
bet against that, dude.
Hard to put your nose up at that.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, man. It's I'm excited. I just can't wait to feel that energy from the stadium again. You know, like it's been. And I'm taking my wife. She's never been to a Supercross race. Like,
I can't wait to meet her. That'll be sick.
Yeah, I'm pumped to just like sit in and feel it. I feel like I've spent so long talking about races without actually being able to go to one of these things. Like, it's going to be sick to actually sit.
I've always wanted to do like US Open or something, like, you know, always watching those big races or Monster Cup. I got to go to once and take photos at, so that was sick. But excuse me, you know, you don't want to miss those big ones. Like, and I've always had to watch them on TV because we couldn't afford to travel to Vegas or whatever every time. So to be here for the one, that's going to be sick.
Yeah, when you're talking about like your parents and stuff, do you have just like those dreams of like paying for all their shit and like taking them out? Like,
man, you already know. That's my mama. She passed away about 6 years ago, but that was the whole reason I did this shit.
Yeah,
was when I was racing, I thought I could get rich and take care of her, and then I was like, well, I don't know if I'll get rich doing this. So then the music, like, I started doing all that right before she passed.
Yeah.
And she was just so supportive, and man, I just wanted to give her everything.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's real bittersweet now because
she never got to see.
I could change shit up for her.
Yeah.
And I never got to.
Yeah.
And that's one of the toughest things. Like, sometimes I don't enjoy it as much as I should because like, she's gone, and you know, it's just stuff's a little different now with me and my dad, and you know, you have this dream of like one day fixing everybody up, and then you never get to, and it's like, I'm trying to figure out what I'm working for now, because that was always why I wanted to get like rich and famous, was not to be known, was just to like take care of my family. So, you know, I still got family and I still got friends and stuff, but like my mama was like,
that was the one.
Get her where she deserves. So sometimes I don't know, man. It's kind of cool to be talking with you about it because I don't know. I ain't thought about it like this in a while.
Yeah,
it's kind of got my wheels spinning, but I don't really know what am I working for right now.
I think kids would probably change that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know,
and I want to get a farm. My dog's getting old. And we're in an apartment right now in Nashville.
Yeah.
So there's little shit like that, you know, where I know her and my girl would definitely enjoy some land, and I still got stuff, but like that was my big one.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what's that one that makes me go that hard again, because I went hard when she was here.
Yeah. It's cool though, man, like to experience that, and you know, to know that your mum would have been so proud of you in this, like what you've done now too, you know, like I think even just kind of there's probably something cool to take out of just getting to where you got to, you know, because she did believe that you would do this. Like, she did believe you would be where you are now.
She did 100%.
You got there, you know. When
I was rapping over those whiz beats, she'd be like, baby, them songs are good. Keep doing your thing. And then my dad's like, don't nobody want to hear you singing rap songs. And she's just like, somebody does. Somebody wants to hear you sing whatever you want to sing, so just keep doing it.
And so how did things go pear-shaped with your dad?
Man, it was probably 3 years ago, I guess. It was like right after my record deal when I first signed it. First song came out, and he got a fake press pill from somebody, and we didn't know he had been doing pills, but he got one with some fentanyl in it and overdosed, and it was just that terrible timing. It was right in the middle of like being the highest I could be, not that kind of high.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the world. I'm from White House, Tennessee. It's a town of just thousands of people, and there's a billboard in Nashville with my picture on it saying, go listen to my song. And then the same day, like, I'm getting news, or whatever, same week, I'm getting news like that just rocks your whole world, because that's all I got left. My mom was gone.
Yeah.
And then he's doing something that might take him from me. So that was really tough for a while. We're back good now, thankfully, but it just took a lot of work, and it took a lot of time to get that trust back.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, it kind of upset me, because I'm like, man, I'm working so hard to take care of y'all.
Yeah.
And try to get this shit for y'all. Why are you going to do this to me?
Yeah.
Why are you going to do this to yourself mainly? Like,
yeah. And so he just had a bit of a problem with that shit for a bit?
Yeah, so he injured his arm. Like, it was when I was a kid. Honestly, he broke his arm. We were riding one day, and he was a painter too. He always had problems with that wrist. And I guess just after years of it, it just got to him, and the way he told it was somebody at work just said, take this, man, you'll be able to get through the day just fine. And then he just couldn't shake them.
Yeah.
And then once that happened, he never did them again, is the story, so. But it just took a lot of stuff, because, you know what I mean? It's hard to.
No,
it's hard to like do financial shit when you don't know where the money might go or something. I mean, it's tough to talk about.
Yeah.
But I hope somebody out there can hear it and like find some kind of peace and know there's like hope or whatever. But it's really hard for my mom to be gone, not be able to take care of her, and then he's here, but I can't really take care of him the way I want to either at the time.
Because you don't trust. Yeah.
Because the trust was kind of dented, and I didn't know. You know what I mean? And then that shit put me through it too. So I'm trying to take care of myself and keep myself afloat, because I have my dreams right in front of me on a platter if I don't fuck it up. Yeah. So it was like, I can't have stuff like this derail it.
Yeah. Because it does, dude.
It will.
And it can, yeah.
Yeah, man, it put me in a bad place for a long time. Yeah. Just little stuff, like maybe I hadn't thought about death in a while. Yeah. And then like having to face it again, and like seeing somebody you love almost die, you're like, it's all you can think about sometimes for a while. So there was so many things that it did that I didn't realize at the time. Even I'm probably still stuff I'm trying to peel off now.
Yeah. Do you go to therapy?
I did for a long time.
Okay.
I need to get back into it.
I was gonna say you should just fucking go back.
Yeah, we joke. I used to say I'm too messed up for my therapist.
Yeah.
Because I run him off, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
That shit's real though.
COVID was weird, man.
Yeah.
Shit like that got in the way, because I was really in a good groove, and then when you can't go see somebody, or you got to do it through a screen, it just like it gets a little flat. And
but therapy definitely works for people. Like it's
huge.
Definitely like a big thing, especially like because you get asked questions, you get forced to talk about things, and a lot of times, like, I mean, I feel like sometimes the podcast is therapy for me in a way, like you just
totally.
I'm just I don't know what I'm going to fucking talk about. I don't know what I'm going to say, but you get in the ebb and the flow, and you just start constructing ideas and theories and thoughts like you've never thought about before. And it's just raw form coming out, and I think that's kind of what therapy's like. You just get prompted, you get asked something, and then you just start going, and then all of a sudden you start uncovering things. Like, fuck, I didn't think I needed to work on that,
Sometimes it made me too aware, and then I like bully myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you got to fix this. And sometimes it's not an easy fix.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it is.
Yeah. I think the
so way... I've been trying to like I said, I'm trying to be a little sweeter to myself, because I think I'm a pretty cool dude if I just give myself some credit,
Yeah. It's hard to do though. Like it's hard to, when you got goals, when you got a vision, when you like when you, especially when you come from nothing as well, and you like you want it bad and you'll do what it takes. Like it's hard not to have these high expectations, and
for sure,
and want to just grind it out,
because I know if I just settle for whatever, I'm not going to beat these boys. I'm not going to do what I want to do if I just take whatever it gives me. Like, I gotta push a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
There's a line.
I can't remember what it was. I think I sent a picture. Like, I sent one of my friends a picture of my old room in Australia. I think I was sending him a photo of like some books or something. And then he's like, "Damn, dude, get a bed frame." Like I was sleeping on the floor, like my mattress on the floor, and I wrote him back. It was like one of the coolest fucking texts I ever sent. I didn't even think about it. I just wrote back, and I was like, "I ain't where I want to be, man. So why would I get comfortable?"
Damn.
You know, and
I
it's
like that.
But it's like, that's when I thought, like, once I said it, I like really reflected on, you know, like you think about maybe like the self-sabotage or the sometimes. I think I was kind of like keeping myself real gritty. Yeah, because totally. I was like, I don't want to be comfortable here. Like, this isn't the spot where I want to be. So I'm going to make it shitty. I'm going to make it so I still want to leave.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm guilty of that shit.
I didn't have a TV. I didn't have a bed frame.
We're too similar.
I had a desk that was like an old door with fucking millions of YouTube views are coming from this fucking desk.
I feel
that's like drilled, you know. So it's like, I don't know. I think that there is some like psychology there, but it's like you kind of need to know when. It's like there's a point of diminishing returns, you know. Like for me, it's like when my now wife ended up moving in, I was like, okay, I need to have a house that's like livable for another person. But to me, I was like, I liked being in a place without a TV and with no furniture, and I just felt right for where my head was at the time.
Yeah, see, I tell her similar stuff. I'm like, we might not like this table at our house we buy. We might not like that couch at the house we finally get, so why don't we just keep this couch?
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'm just like keeping myself from growing. Sometimes I need to go ahead and do the thing.
Yeah.
But also sometimes, like, I don't know, that grit and stuff, like you said, not having every single thing you want right now makes you still want to like go get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the more that you get stuff too, you realize that it's not the things that help. It's not the things that make you feel good.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I mean, there's definitely some stuff, like, or like a watch, like you get one watch and then all of a sudden all these other watches that you thought were real dope, you're like, nah, I don't really need that. Like, I don't know that I would need those. Whereas like, until you've got the thing, you don't know that that's how it's going to feel. You're going to think you want like a collection but then you get one and you're like, it doesn't give you everything that you thought it would, you know. So sometimes it's good to know that it's like, it's not the things that give you the joy.
For sure, because you know what really sucks is losing those things.
That's true too.
Like having a really nice truck and then it gets
repoed.
Or losing a house or you know, shit like that, man.
Yeah.
Going through things like that in my life really made me scared to, like, that's why I still drive a 2003 Nissan, because I don't want a payment. I could probably afford one, but I don't want to ever worry about somebody taking it. And if I can't pay for it all up front, I don't need it.
And then you don't have the freedom, you know, like to be nimble and you get asked to go move somewhere and for some opportunity and bam, I'm fucking there, you know, like you ain't tied down. That's why they say the things you own end up owning you.
That's one of the truest things I've heard today. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, I've been a minimalist not by choice most of my life.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like it.
Yeah.
I started, you know, you start piling some shit up and you're like, I like it better clean.
Yeah.
I like it better without less things to take care of.
The one good thing about being broke for so fucking long is you end up knowing that you don't need much to be happy.
That's facts. Don't take much. My mom used to say we could live in a refrigerator box. If we got love, we good.
Hell yeah.
And I forget that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in a refrigerator box and I'm a tyrant some days and I'm trying to get that together.
Yeah. Man, that's where, bro, get a fucking passport. Honestly.
Yeah, I know. I need to go.
Man, I'm telling you.
All my friends, I used to have some buddies that come up here trying to race amateur stuff from Australia.
Oh,
and
really?
they were just always like, man, you're too superstitious and you too this and you too that. Like, you need to come down here, hang out with some bogans for like a month,
yes,
and you gonna fucking go home a new guy.
Yeah.
And I just never I never took them up on it, man, so I need to.
Dude, I'd love to show you Australia one time.
Shit, that'd be sick.
You'll tour there at some point. Who was that? The chick that I sent you on Instagram the other
day? Jessie Murph.
Yeah. She was in my hometown. Oh, not my hometown.
Really?
The town that I last lived in.
That's sick.
Recently. So, I mean, I'm sure you're going to get there at some point.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are like, anybody going viral seems like they're getting out of the States pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because that stuff's really cool, man. Like, I do see a lot of people from Australia or New Zealand or London saying they're listening to the song. It's crazy that stuff can reach that far without you physically going there first.
Yeah. No, the internet's fucking crazy like that, dude. Man, we were about to go. I was about to say something where we were at, and then I brought her up and lost my train of thought. I fucking lost it. I lost it. Damn it.
You pulling a red?
I was just. I don't want to change. Like, I got it somewhere else we can go, but I was trying to stick with where we were at. Yeah, it was something about being from a small town. Well, man, I've enjoyed the heck out of talking to you, bro. And we've done our 3 hours.
Hell yeah, come on.
Part 1 is done.
Part 1, I like that.
I can't wait for part 2. A lot's changed in your life in the last few months, and I feel like a lot's going to change over between now and the next time that we do one of these things. So,
man, I think so. It's crazy.
I'm here for the ride, bro.
Well, thank you for real. It means a lot because you're kind of on the front edge of the curve. I feel like, you know what I mean? Some people still figuring out about it, and I think your shit's really dope. So for you to have me on here it really means a lot to me because, like I said, I look up to it. I like it. We watch it. We be eating lunch watching that shit every time a new one pops up. So to come out here and talk with you, it's really cool.
No.
Especially early, because most people wait till it's like such a thing that then you can't even come.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much shit.
Yeah.
I hear my friends talk about that all the time. It's like people get mad and think they don't want to come, but they just they waited to mess with them till they was too busy.
Yeah.
And I'm telling all my folks, like, get me right now while I can. Let's lock in early, and that way we can do part 2, 3, and 4 because everybody knows that's something I do.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. Like, as soon as we linked up, I thought it'd be cool. It's one of my goals for the next little bit is to try and, I guess, bring people into this world that are like, they're not just racers, but they got something in bikes. They rode as a kid. That, you know, I want to spread the two-wheel love as far out as I can, you know.
Yeah, it was sick because most of the time it is racers or like industry type, which I guess I'm kind of industry. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's cool to be an outsider now and still be let in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's cool.
No, well,
it means a lot to me.
No, I would definitely, I'd definitely like to see a lot of people finish this podcast right now if they haven't already. Head to Spotify, stream Jack and Diet Coke.
Yeah, go rip that thing.
By your boy, put it on a story with some riding, fucking show it with your boys, drinking a Jack and Diet Coke, and
come on, that's what it's about.
Hopefully, we can get the Gypsy Gang behind you. And
Gypsy Gang, hey, I met a gypsy.
Yeah, you do.
I met a gypsy. Get that redneck tag on there one time,
dude. Send me the ad lib, bro. I'll put it. Hey,
dude, I'll track you one for this episode.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
They'll be like, what the fuck happened to Gypsy,
dude? Let's do that for this, and then all the intro. Yeah, all right,
that's hilarious.
All right, man. Well, I'll be seeing you tomorrow. I'll be seeing you Saturday. We'll be watching some Supercross.
Wish me luck, bro, that I don't bonsai it tomorrow.
I'll be on the track with you, bro.
Honestly,
I'll be there. So
where I'm at these days, if I can't hit it, I don't.
Nah.
I can't ring my bell.
Too expensive now, bro.
I know, bro. Yeah, and I heal slower.
Yeah. We're getting old. All right, man. Well, everybody, that was dope. We appreciate you.
Come on. Peace.
Let's go.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.